you. concept. You have a great concept. You guys are doing it, man. And it's an honor for me to just be, a small rock, man, in your mountain. I'm going to pop a top in your honor.
Mr. Doc Walker blessed us with his presence and knowledge.
We want to welcome in our next special guest, Haley Skarupa. She's a three-time world champion in women's ice hockey and most recently won Olympic gold with Team USA.
The Cap Stadium Series is definitely my favorite, obviously. I'm a huge Caps fan. I always have been. And to be there at that game with my teammates and for us to bring, our gold medals to there and share it with everyone in this area was really, really special for me. And just the support and it's been tremendous from everyone in this area, and you can feel that there at that game.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Network.
I'm bringing us in.
Perfect. I put my earbud in because I wasn't sure if it would come through good over in my car Bluetooth. So I said, let me put my earbud in. That should work better.
Sounds good. All right, we are live. Sports on the Hill podcast, episode 410. We got Champ on location, calling in, and we got Sith in the basement as per usual. It's been an interesting Raw to start off the night. I'm going to let my dog in real quickly. Sith, why don't you talk about some of what we just actually saw, which was an interesting match,
which I haven't seen because I'm on location. I'm en route. I'm mobile. So yeah, go ahead and tell me what I missed, so that way I can go back and watch it later.
What you missed was Becky Lynch had an open challenge for the Women's IC Championship, and Io answered it.
Nice.
And it was lit. But guess what, boys and girls, ladies and gents?
Asuka got involved.
What?
Asuka got involved. That's what I'm seeing from the messages from Marcus and everybody.
Yep. And also, the crowd in Laredo is chanting what right now isn't currently trending on X, but has been over the last several days. Hashtag we want Kari. The fans are really speaking out here big time, trying to tell people, hey, we want Kari back. And from what I read earlier from WrestleVotes, they are hoping that this is like the We Want cross movement and it just goes away to where they don't have to do anything, which is pretty wild. They're hoping it all goes away, that this all blows over, because they don't want to bring Kari back. But as I'll talk to you and Robbie about shortly, this was a big mistake by WWE, but we'll cross that bridge in a minute.
Indeed. Robbie is muted.
Oh, thank you. All right, tonight's show, and thank you, Sith, for the recap there. It was an interesting match for sure to watch during the setup. So tonight's show is a little bit of a different order. We're starting off with our WWE talk. We want to talk about some of the roster cuts. That is obviously breaking news, and just talk about sort of this post-WrestleMania run. And then I want to get your quick thoughts. We can talk more about the draft and, when we do free agencies and stuff like that down the line. But just your quick takeaways from the draft, if you have them. And then we'll let Sith go, and then Champ and I are going to talk a little Defenders, Nationals, and DC United. There's been some exciting games in all three, and we'll talk about them. And then in hour two, we're going to talk a little bit of NHL playoffs and we'll talk NBA playoffs in hour 3 with Tim out on the West Coast. Tim calling in from Canada for the first time. So that'll be an interesting change of scenery. So we bring Canada in on the West Coast side from Vancouver, and it's not Janea. So, it's kind of cool. And all right, well, I'll let Sith and Champ talk a little bit about some of these roster cuts, and then we can break into some of the other sports as well.
I'll start it off. So it's become an annual tradition with WWE over the last several years that usually a few days after WrestleMania, typically Fridays, usually a Black Friday, WWE tends to release a large number of superstars from their contracts. And this year appears to be no different, as 25 WWE superstars were let go. And there is a lot of reports on the internet that it could be more, mostly from individuals who are in the Performance Center, who are part of Legends and Future Greats, which is LFG, the series that airs on AMC. They just premiered season 3 of LFG yesterday, and I watched it. It's a different format and 2 new judges joining Hall of Famers Booker T and Bubba Ray Dudley and Kevin Owens and Natalia. But it's a different sort of setup. I'll get into that later on. But the releases, you had 14 from the main roster. That would be the former Kaylee Ray, who's back to Kaylee Ray, Alba Fire. You had Aleister Black, as well as his wife, Zelina Vega, the Motor City Machine Guns, Apollo Crews, who apparently just filmed and took pictures and of content to have a character change. So he was about to have a character change, and now he's gone. You also had the entire Wyatt Six faction, Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, Dexter Loomis, Nikki Cross, and Bo Dallas all got released. Kairi Sane, which is one of the bigger surprises because she had a prominent role on TV for Raw alongside Asuka and beefing with Io Sky, but now she's gone. Santos Escobar, which scumbag move by WWE. He's just had a second surgery on his arm just a few weeks ago, and they just released him. He becomes like the third or fourth, the fourth superstar in the last couple of years to be released while being out injured, which used to be something WWE never did. But over the last year or two, 4 men, including Santos, have been released while being out injured. You also have Zoe Stark, who I believe was closing in on a return after being out injured with a knee injury, and now she's gone. On the developmental side, Andre Chase was let go. He was the proprietor of Chase University on NXT. Chris Island, who was one of the individuals that was part of LFG, he was part of both seasons of LFG, and I think he's part of this season as well. I have to wait and see, but he's gone. Dante Chin, who's made appearances on NXT, but most notably has been on Evolve, is gone. Luca Crucifino, who used to be the legal counsel for the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo, he is now gone and actually went on social media and announced his retirement from professional wrestling after about 5 years in the business. He has hung up his boots and he is done with that. Malik Blade, who at one point was a prominent on NXT, is part, I believe, he was part of the Metaphor, but yes, so he is gone. A couple others from LFG, Serena Linton, who was part of both seasons of LFG, and I think is part of this season, even though she's now gone. Trill London, another LFG guy, is gone. Tyra May Steele, which has the internet absolutely on fire because Tyra May Steele was the first female winner of LFG back in season 1, but now she's gone. She had ended up on Evolve, but now she's out of there. Tyreek Igwe and Tyson DuPont, formerly High Rise, they were associates of the former Wes Lee, who's now in AEW with the Rascals. They are gone. And Charlie Bright, who was another LFG prospect, was released, though her name was not part of the news cycle, but she confirmed her release on social media. So 25 in total were let go on this past Friday, hours before SmackDown even got on the air. And again, there are numerous reports out there saying that there could be more that were let go that just were not announced. So that number of 25 could be a lot larger when it's all said and done. But again, another situation where over 20 superstars are no longer working for the big company in Stamford, Connecticut. 14 of them, because they were main roster stars, they will be sitting for the next 90 days paid. Thank goodness. They will be paid, so they won't go hungry for the next 3 months, but they can't sign with another promotion or make appearances in other wrestling promotions for the next 90 days. For the 10 or for the 11 that were released, that were part of developmental, either NXT, Evolve, or LFG, they only will be sitting for 30 days. So they're only going to be paid for a month, and then they're able to go and do indie dates and indie bookings or sign with another promotion and things like that. But it's never fun as a wrestling fan and as a wrestling podcaster to talk about individuals losing their jobs and whatnot through not really any fault of theirs. It's just, that's just how the business is, and it sucks.
So I have a question. Was there more lost this year than most years, about normal amount, or, you know?
Hell no. They profited. That's what makes it even more of a scumbag move.
But no, but
because they profited. They didn't lose anything.
But like, did they cut more people this year in the cuts than they have in the previous couple of years, or is this about?
According to Fightful Select, a lot of these releases, especially on the main roster, are more so a move to make room for some of the call-ups. Because we did get some call-ups post-WrestleMania, which is to be expected as a fatal influence on SmackDown. Joe Hendry, which, you know, is making his appearance on Raw tonight with his concert.
It's funny. While you've been chatting, Champ, Joe Hendry just got his ass beat by the Vision, and then they got their ass beat. So, you know, it's funny that Joe Hendry, is definitely starting to play a bigger role for sure.
Yeah, he got moved up. All Ego got moved up. Ethan Page, a bunch of people got brought up from NXT up to the main roster, and so this route of cuts was more so to make room for a lot of those young kids from out of NXT to bring them up to the main roster and things like that. And again, this seems to be an annual tradition with WWE where they make these massive cuts right after WrestleMania. They have all of these heads and all this head count for WrestleMania, and then once WrestleMania is over and done with, then, you know, some people, and it's crazy because the Wyatt Six were actually somewhat prominently featured on TV on SmackDown. They just finished their rivalry with the MFTs, losing in a street fight on SmackDown this past Friday, and so I guess after that it is what it is. Aleister Black is another surprising one because he was closing in on a year since he returned for his second run with the company after being with AEW. And for those who are saying, well, Aleister Black can go back to AEW, no, we cannot, because 99.9% of the locker room don't want his ass there. They are not fans of Aleister Black at AEW, so that is not an option for him to go back to AEW. He has to go somewhere else. But Kyrie was the biggest surprise because of how prominently featured she was on Raw alongside Asuka. And there was planning for a match between Io and Asuka at WrestleMania before it got scrapped. And I think they were going to probably, after what happened tonight with Asuka getting involved with Io's match for the IC title, it'll most likely happen at Backlash. But now you're not going to have Kairi Sane involved in that because she's no longer gone. And according to Ringside News, she's already back in Japan. Like, she didn't waste any time. She got released on Friday and she's already back in Japan. And I'm pretty sure that either Stardom or Marigold, which is the other big Joshi promotion in Japan, run by the former president and founder of Stardom, Rosie Ogawa. I'm pretty sure Rosie's gonna reach out to Kyrie and bring her into Marigold, and she'll work in Marigold and stuff like that. But it's a tough time for. It's a very, very tough time to be a wrestling fan. There was a lot of a lot of emotional messages from people. You know, Rhea Ripley commented on how much it sucks to, you know, lose some comrades. EO make it, you know, with some comments. Even what was it? Nikki Cross talked about, because she used to ride with Julia, and she had some, you know, very nice things to say about Julia on the way out and everything like that. So very tough time, but that's just how the business goes. Thankfully, unlike in years past, there's so many options for these wrestlers, whether it be grinding on the indies, or going to AEW or TNA or MLW, or going overseas to CMLL, or going to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling in Canada, or going to Japan, or going to Europe. There are so many options for these 24 individuals that once their non-competes are completed, I'm sure that they'll be able to find work somewhere and be able to continue living out their dream.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you don't get that sort of experience and exposure like that you get in, you know, WWE. For people are gonna promotions are gonna want you, you know, at some level. So
Exactly.
So
I mean, Matt Cardona is the best example I could put out there. Somebody who was under the WWE umbrella for a very long time, got released during the pandemic, and not only went out and grinded, but reinvented himself and made himself a bigger star outside of WWE than he was with WWE before coming back to WWE. He's an example. Drew McIntyre is an example. Cody Rhodes is an example of being in that system for so long, then being told, yeah, good luck in your future endeavors. And then you go out there into the scary world of indie wrestling, and you just go out there and grind. And next thing you know, you become a bigger star. And then all of a sudden, WWE wants you back again because you became a bigger star without them.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So I want to shout out all the people that are watching and joining us in Twitch chat. Vagabunda said, since you guys are talking WWE, the new Hulk Hogan documentary hit Netflix, and it's not too bad. Are either of you guys going to watch that? Have you guys?
We'll probably watch it.
Me and Sid said we were going to watch it so others wouldn't, because there's still very, very sour feelings about Hulk Hogan even after his death, because of that leaked tape where he used the N-word multiple times to describe an ex-boyfriend of his daughters. And so mostly black people, they can't stand Hogan. And so we said, we'll watch it so you don't have to.
Nice. That's awesome. So
something to say. And Champ, I want to hear y'all's takes on this. Jeremy Steele. I think the time is gone to keep bringing. We need to stop bringing medalists and promoting them as such in WWE, because there is a big problem here. Gable Stevenson.
She's the second medalist in amateur wrestling that fizzled out in WWE.
Yes.
Dave Stevenson was the first.
And here's the thing. They were both heavily promoted. And I'm going to say this here and now. I know it's a big deal for us to have our medalists where it comes to sports. Absolutely. But the problem with WWE is when you bring in someone with a major build, bulk that has amateur experience, it's all about, oh my God, the next Brock Lesnar, gold medalist. Oh, that
the next Kurt Angle.
And what they're doing is no different than what the NHL media did to Connor McDavid before he got drafted. when he was in juniors, the NHL media wouldn't shut up about McDavid, drawing comparisons to him, to Gretzky, Crosby, Lemieux, Ovechkin. Oh, he's the next great one. It's coming.
It's so funny, Sith. They have an ISO on Crosby right now as you're talking in the hockey game
And,
that I'm also watching.
and here's the funny thing, or in the NBA, I remember when LeBron James was a junior and senior in high school, and ESPN overhyped him big time as the heir apparent to Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Those two guys, honestly, with some fans, never got a fair shake because of the fact that the media put all these expectations on these two people. And what's happened with Gabe Stevenson and now Tyra May Steele, it's gold medalists. So, oh God, they have to be as great as Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was a once in a generation Olympian standout who got a gold medal with a broken neck.
A broken freaking neck.
Broken freaking neck.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
WWE.
bottom line is, Sith, not to cut you off, but the bottom line is that Tyra May Steele, just like Gabe Stevenson, got pigeonholed. They got pigeonholed because of the fact they're Olympic medalists in wrestling. So they're supposed to be outstanding standouts in this game, but they don't realize that this game is 1,000,000 times different than on the mat, where all you're doing is grappling and getting takedowns. It's a whole lot more to this. And like you said, Kurt Angle was a once in a million talent that won a gold medal in freestyle amateur wrestling and went on to have a Hall of Fame career in the sport of wrestling. Hell, we can go even further back. The Iron Sheik was a medalist in amateur wrestling, and he went on to have a Hall of Fame career in his era of professional wrestling. So it can happen, but it's so rare for it to happen. And the fact that these two this one young man and this one young woman got pigeonholed into those comparisons of an Iron Sheik, of a Kurt Angle, that they didn't do their due diligence to properly train them fully to be able to be professional wrestlers, to be sports entertainers. And that's why, everybody's all up in the uproar that Tyra May Steele, who won a competition to be signed to NXT, even though she was already signed to WWE before this, everybody's up in arms like, what's the fucking point of LFG if one of your first winners is now been released from the company? Thankfully, Jasper Troy, who was the season 1 men's winner, is still doing good in NXT, and then the two winners from season 2 are doing pretty decently. But I would not be surprised if there's another round of roster cuts later this year, and one of those 3 ends up out the door. And then you're going to really wonder what the hell was the point of LFG if you're going to just let them go after a short period of time. But go ahead, Seth. Continue.
Champ and Crucifino, when they broke up the family, think about this, y'all. Coney went away for a bit, to have some time with his family, which is cool. Stax gets put into a story with his real life fiance, Ariana Grace, and now they're in Birthright together, along with that stable. They hardly had a thing for Lucia Crucifino. Then after the family imploded and that story ended, he was gone. And the one thing that irked me the most, and I said this in several group chats, so Champ and Robbie both know how I'm telling y'all now, for the people that did SmackDown Friday night, people are upset, why are they still having a show? Because even though 25 people got released, there's still a show to put on. As the saying goes, the show must go on. I'm sure that the talent had heavy hearts because no one likes to see people. Well, usually a lot of people don't like seeing people get fired. I saw on X Friday night, and this pissed me off. One dude, and I don't care if the guy was joking or not, said for Josh Briggs to pick up the phone immediately. Come on. In the middle of these releases, the guy was literally begging for Briggs to be released. And all I'm thinking is the people that are out here celebrating these releases and saying, oh, they got what they deserved. And I'm talking about civilians. I'm talking about people just on social media. I'm not talking about Billy Ray. Y'all must have miserable lives to wish misery on others. Y'all must be miserable sons of bitches. I'll tell you right now, I can speak for Robbie and Champ and a lot of our people. I would not want to break bread with you. No. I would not want to meet you up for tea. No. Because if you're that miserable to cheer on someone getting fired, I don't want that vibe in my life. Champ and I, it's why at the close of the No Spots intro, I think that statement was put out there 2 years ago about the same situation WWE releases. And I told people, thank you. I told people, Champ, what do I tell people? Don't be a
dick.
Don't, and someone asked me, don't be that guy. Where'd that come from? So I gave the movie reference. It's from a film called PCU. Robbie will laugh at this. Dude, you're wearing the shirt of the band you're going to see. Don't be that.
Yeah.
By the way, spoiler alert for our season 8 premiere. I'm finally going to have final thoughts, and it's about all those fucking dickheads who could not give wrestlers privacy during WrestleMania weekend. We are having a come to Jesus meeting this weekend.
To quote Devon, oh my brothers, Stefan, because that was in my back pocket. But now I'm going to change my final thoughts. That way Champ can run with that. And I'll do that next Friday.
I'm getting my shit off this weekend. I'm getting my shit off this weekend because the fact that a Hall of Famer had some fool with a phone in his face while he's in the fucking bathroom, like, how fucked up in the head do you have to be to have a phone recording a 2-time Hall of Famer while he's in the fucking bathroom? Like, are you that fucking disturbed, my friend? That's what I want to know.
Like to know, and Randy Orton addressed that several years ago when someone wanted to take a picture with them in the fucking men's room.
These people are whacked in the head, bro. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Slapped my phone.
Well, you should have had your phone in his wife's face, stupid.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about this?
I am not a defender of Punk that much where it comes to how he interacts with some people. But Champ and I and Robbie have said this time and again, C4 has said it, I'm sure. There's a time and a place to interact with a wrestler. The airport, the hotel, a restaurant, no way, no how.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So this El Grande Americano storyline, I think, has hit peak.
They massacred my boys.
It's just kind of
C4, I need you. Oh God, they massacred my boys.
Yeah, I
think it's coming to a head at the end of May with a mass versus mass match, and I think
this is like
it's long overdue.
I can't wait for Champ to go back and watch this match because
this was wild.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining.
What is it? El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio?
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta watch that because I was listening when they announced it, and I was like, oh, that sounds like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it was very good, and of course the other Grande makes an appearance, and lots of other wild hijinks ensue, including loading the mask. Right, that's always a big bit. So so
that's the gimmick.
Yeah.
And Champ.
Yes.
I will double check in the morning, but Raw right now currently does not have grades from Bleacher Report.
Interesting.
And it's 9:39 here.
Interesting.
Yep. And I'm going to say something before I go real quick.
Yeah.
My quick take on the Commanders. When will people fucking realize adults are running the fucking show? Adults are running the show. Quit calling for Adam to do what you think should happen because it happened under good old Danny Boy. No. Adults who don't run fantasy leagues as ownership, they are running the show.
So are you happy with what you've seen so far with what was drafted?
We got a B from who I call the Hobbit hole, the groundhog of the NFL draft. Mel Kiper gave us a B. I give us a B plus. We answered our needs. Okay, we got a quarterback in the 7th round. Okay, but guess what though? We know we have our franchise quarterback over here. There's nothing wrong with having QB 1, 2, 3. That way, 3 is likely going to sit out most of the year and be inactive. Okay, fine. But at least it gave that pick somewhere to go and learn. So maybe they apply themselves elsewhere if it doesn't work out in Washington. When we got the LB linebacker in the first round, I said, and apparently Grant and Danny said this, the Commanders didn't think he was going to drop down to 7. So when he dropped down to 7, it was Adam. He said, called the guy up, said, "Hey man, do you want to come with us?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." And by the way, this is really getting annoying. We've got an Oscar promo right now on Raw, and guess who they've tried to erase out for the most part now?
Yeah.
Kari Sane.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes. So we got a timeout here in this Philly-Pittsburgh game. Pittsburgh is still up 3-2. Philly's got an empty net. 39.6 seconds left. So looks like Philly's got some trouble, but I don't know. Even if they goes to 3-2, the next game, Game 6, is back in Philadelphia. But they lose that, it goes to Game 7 in Pittsburgh. Who knows what's going to happen? All right, well,
So this was going to be a 6-game series.
Yeah.
I did think it was going to go all 7. But I'm still saying, even though I'm the resident Pens fan of this network, I'm still saying Flyers in 6. The Pens had a remarkable run to get into the playoffs. But what needs to happen in Pittsburgh is continuing to rebuild, which means certain people that want to retire together either need to have a come to Jesus moment and retire in the off season, or they're going to go elsewhere and sign a one-day sheet and retire when Crosby's ready to retire. But I think Letang and Malkin, they need to realize they're not worth the money they are seeking. And apparently Malkin felt disrespected with the offer that the Pens gave him. And he made it known because he got thrown out of one game and got a 5-game suspension for a major misconduct. That was a real cheap shot, and I said to a friend of mine, who's also a Pens fan, I said, I realize that the guy goes to church with Gino. I said, Malkin needs to grow up. He is in the, how should I put this? He's in the twilight of his career.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem with Malkin is Robbie will love this correlation. Robbie, do you want to be the drummer or the lead singer that gets all the attention? 9 times out of 10. Unless you're Dave Grohl, in which case you're cool.
Yeah. I think most people would pick lead singer. I prefer drummer myself, but
Yeah.
I get the reference, I get you want the
that's the thing, is some people are happy just being drummers. But you have some people that are like, man, I should be an equal to the guys up front, getting all the chicks and everything backstage and everything. I've said before that Peter Chris was fired the first time, when he was fired, it wasn't because he wanted to be up in the front. They fired him because of his personal. They kicked him while he was down, kicked him out because of personal issues. And then the second time, it was about money. It was, he thought he was due for a raise to do the overseas leg of the initial retirement tour. And Paul and Gene said, no, you're sticking at this amount. Peter left. And then that's how I left as a Kiss fan, because instead of doing non-makeup, they put in the makeup that Peter created a damn good drummer in Eric Singer. He's an incredible drummer. But that's when I left the Kiss fan base. I was done. I'm like, okay, no more of this. We're now subbing people in makeup now instead of, devising on characters or doing what we did in the 80s, no makeup. But getting back to wrestling real quickly,
I just wanted to announce that the Penguins did beat the Flyers 3-2.
Those lucky bastards. I'm a Pens fan, but that was luck.
There was a crazy little brawl there at the end there. The Tangs trying to fight people. Crosby's in the mix, and Crosby got
Champ will love this. We're getting Obafemi versus Grayson Waller right now.
Yeah.
On Raw, because Grayson's like, why can't I get my turn? And Pierce is like, okay, kid, you got Obafemi. He's like, no, my dad.
Yeah, I saw that.
But yeah, my heart breaks for the releases. But I will say this, though, and it's something that Champ will likely agree with. Yes, it's horrible that you lost your job. No one's, a lot of people are denying that. Very few people are denying it's horrible to lose your job. But guess what? You get back on your feet after 30, 90 days, whenever, and you hit the ground running, and you prove the powers that be wrong. Because, I hate to tell y'all this, Paul Levesque had the final say on the releases.
I'm sorry. It's so catchy.
Oh, you're good. And Robbie will be very relieved. Mm-hmm. The Mega Movie tier list ends this coming Sunday. 13 franchises are left. And so, yeah, I'm going to wrap them all up. And I'm dreading Rob Zombie's Halloween, which, dreading Hellraiser Revelations because it's Dollar Store Pinhead. But here's where Champ says, yeah, typical Sith. I love Hellraiser Judgment. The Auditor is badass. The Auditor works alongside Pinhead, and the Auditor, he's twisted.
I've actually never seen that movie.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to say typical Sith. I'm going to say thank God Sith talks a lot, because it gave me time to park my car, get into my apartment, light a cigar, sit down on my setup, and I'm here now. So thank you, Sith, because I'm at my setup and I'm chilling.
All right. There you go. Champ, I want to know real quick. Your grade for our draft overall. I give us a B+.
I would say B+ as well, because the thing that really stood out to me, they're finally going young, especially on the defensive side. Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Penn State. We are Penn State. Really young linebacker, flies around the ball. Great. That's what you need on that backside on that defense, because that was what was killing this team last year. Was we had a very old, I hate to say it like that, but we had a very old defense, and so they were getting beat like drums the entire season because they were a little bit slower, a little bit not have that same step that they had when they were younger. And so getting younger is the way to go, and starting off with Sonny Styles and going from there, you're going to finally have that young core that's going to be able to keep up with the speed of this game and be able to keep you in games on a defensive front. And then you're going to get healthy on the offensive side of the ball, and that way, boom, you're able to produce points and be able to do what needs to be done. Oba just straight crushed fucking Grayson Waller. I have Raw on now.
Yeah, I loved it.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, Grayson.
Yeah. People are just going nuts for him. Yeah. Oh my
I
God.
can't wait for Sunday night with no spots. Champ and I have a lot to discuss. And if y'all go to our Facebook page, Champ sold and took a super kick brilliantly, good sir. Bravo.
Yeah. I got a lot of compliments from not just fans but wrestlers as well about how I sold that fucking super kick. It was moment of my life there to be in an actual professional wrestling ring on the apron and take a super kick from an actual indie wrestler and sell it like I was dead. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I've been posting it everywhere, so we'll definitely have to have you post it on TikTok. I'll have to send you guys the raw file. So, but yeah, it's on Instagram.
I want to say thank you all.
Yeah.
Last week, y'all know I broke out in hives, and then as C4 found out on Friday night into Saturday, had a migraine. So last week, not my best of weeks, but I'd like to thank everyone here at Sports on the Hills, Will's Dining Wrestling, and Marcus as well, and everyone, because y'all helped out a great deal.
Of course.
Y'all did.
We're family. Thank you, Seth, as always. It's been fun covering this post WrestleMania, the good and the bad. The cuts are just part of the game, I guess, but it's I think that Raw seems to be in a great place. SmackDown is falling far behind in my opinion, but we'll see how it goes going forward. But this has been a good episode of Raw, and I would say we get more good than bad on this, at least the flagship as they call it. So
we're dropping bars.
Yeah, Obafemi's doing his own open challenge, even though he's not a champion. And he said any man who gets in the ring is he's not gonna be happy with their decision because he's gonna be merciless, he's gonna be ruthless, and he's going to crush them because you're not just stepping in the ring with any man, you're stepping in the ring with the ruler. I love it.
Yes, they are, and I freaking love it.
C4, God.
C4. Yeah, C4, you can come on if you want, but this is a great bit for sure. But Seth, thank you so much. Definitely everyone go check out sorry, the basement. Thank you. But the basement links are there on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you're watching on Twitch. It's been fun having you on.
You can tell looking at Liv in her body language. She's like, I'm going to turn on these bitches. It's a matter of time. I'm getting sick of them stealing my spotlight.
Who's that, Raquel?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and C4?
You.
Look, note to Michael Cole. Bayley is a woman of honor. And Ethan Page didn't do anything wrong during that match. He was minding his business.
Sure.
He was observing.
Of course he was.
Give one of the best technical wrestlers in the world his due when he's just sitting at ringside observing a wrestling match.
Of course.
He was a peaceful man.
Yeah. Always.
Anyway, y'all take care. Much love. And I will see you guys down the road.
Wow.
See you guys.
See ya. Sorry, Vegas just scored a minute and 13 seconds into this game. And do you think I'll see you out there? It's exciting.
I can tell you Marcus is not happy right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is why I'm in this room and not that room.
Fair enough. All right. C4.
Wait, what the?
Oh, hold on a minute.
You can't trust anyone in the judgment day.
I can't trust that. He's trying to turn her.
Ooh.
I'm mad though that Liv almost seemed like she wanted to imply about how Roxy was pushing up on her man, but she didn't do it. I'm a little bit pissed off about that.
All right. Well, we've got a bunch of things that we need to rush through, but Champ,
Yeah, let's go.
let's get it started with DC Defenders news. They are rocking, man. Like they have put up their third game with over 40 points. It just really some good stuff there.
Yeah, they won 45-28 over the Birmingham Stallions this week. Like you said, this is their third game this season with 40 plus points, and this is their second game in which they scored 45 points in this season. By the way, after they only scored 10 points in their week 1 loss to St. Louis, they have averaged 40 and a half points the last 4 games during this four-game winning streak. 40 and a half points. This team has been always known for their defense, but my God, has this offense woken up at the right freaking time. Jordan Ta'amu, last year's United Bowl MVP, had probably his best game so far this season. 15 of 22, completing 68.2% of his passes for 275 yards and 4 passing touchdowns. I mean, he was slinging it against Birmingham. Rushing-wise, they only had 129 yards as a team, but they did score 2 rushing touchdowns. Ty Scott caught 2 of Teamu's 4 touchdown passes. Darian Thompson-Robinson, who used to be a starter for Birmingham a couple seasons ago, is back as their starter. He had a pretty decent showing, 28 of 43 at 313 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he did throw 2 interceptions as well. And the defense, once again, showing up and showing out. 3 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, and 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery against them. So a really dominant performance on both sides of the ball. Their next game is against a team that's right on their heels in the standings, the Dallas Renegades, who sit at 3-2. DC actually currently holds a first-place tie with the Orlando Storm after the Storm had suffered their first loss of the season this past weekend against these same St. Louis Battlehawks. So it's getting really tight in the top 4 because the top 4 advance to the playoffs and everything like that. And if it were to start today, DC would have the number 1 seed, Orlando would be 2, Dallas would be 3, and St. Louis would be 4. Those would be your 4 playoff teams if it started today. But it's halfway through the season. There's still 5 games to go, but DC's in a good position, and they're getting hot at the right time to potentially be playing for the UFL championship in their home stadium.
I know, and that's actually a great segue because they announced that tickets go on sale on Friday for that, and right now I'm in debate mode on whether we go to that last regular game of the season. So it's interesting, over the last 4 weeks of the season, it's a little bit different than it is through the first 6. So there's 2 home and home series at the end. And the home and home at the very end is against Orlando. So it'd be between right now the 1 and 2 seeded teams. So we'd learn a lot potentially with that last home game. But part of me wants to buy the championship tickets, because if you don't buy them early, I feel like if we make it, those tickets are going to skyrocket, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. They will skyrocket, especially if the Defenders end up being in that championship game. It'll essentially be a home game for them. And if they end up being the number 1 seed, it will be a home game for them. So it's gonna be a raucous time at Audi Field if the Defenders continue this role and end up in the championship.
I'm leaning towards like rolling the dice and not going to the last game of the regular season and going that direction. And, you know, even if somehow we don't make it, and that would be sad, it would still be really fun to cover a championship. I've never been to, actually, I went to one Stanley Cup game when they held the Stanley Cup and it wasn't our team. But, but I haven't, I don't know, it's been a long time. That was 98. So, At
least you've been to a championship series game. I've never been to a championship series game or championship game. None of that.
Yeah,
actually, I can't say that. I did when I was in high school. I did go to the WCAC championship game when McNamara was in it. We got our asses kicked. It was at the former Byrd Stadium out at the University of Maryland. That was the only championship game I've ever been to in my entire life. It was with my high school team, my high school football teams in the championship, and they got blown out. So, but anyway,
but that's kind of cool. You got it there though.
Haven't been there since, at least to my knowledge.
Yeah. So,
and I think I was a freshman that year too. That was 96.
Wow.
So it's been 30 years.
Wow.
Holy crap.
So it would just be cool to go to a championship at any place. I'm just kind of surprised that they're doing it at Audi Field with like a new stadium, coming in a couple of years. You'd think that they would wait till then, but I'm happy. I also think it's weird that the draft is coming next year here and not waiting until the new stadium is there to do the.
Oh, that's actually happening.
Yeah, I heard that.
I was doom scrolling on Facebook. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was doom scrolling and I saw like an artist rendering of the draft happening on the mall, and I'm like. Yeah, wait, is that like a fantasy thing? Like if the draft comes here, it would be on the mall. But now hearing that it's actually happening next year, I'm like, that's not far fetched to have it at the mall, or push come to shove. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna have it outside of Northwest Stadium, which that's gonna be a big fucking mistake because of the logistics.
It's on the mall. No, that's real.
Oh fuck, that's gonna be crazy, bro.
Yeah. So I'm excited. DC's getting some things. We're getting this at Audi Field, which out of nowhere. Like I was not expecting that. And then we're getting. It was also just announced that we're getting next year's draft. I feel like it was announced last week. So
all I'm waiting for, I could give a fuck about the United Bowl. I could give a fuck about the NFL draft. All I'm waiting for is an announcement that in 2031. WrestleMania is coming to DC. I want WrestleMania 47 here in DC. Please and thank you.
Yes, or a Super Bowl potentially. We've never had
that. Would be cool too, but I'm all about WrestleMania.
I believe it. But
I'm the wrestling guy. I'm all about WrestleMania.
I hear that, but I'm just saying like it's crazy that both potentially could happen now, where like it was not a thing that was possible before us. So, and like Olympics and there's other stuff. So, it opens a lot of doors for this area for sure.
Absolutely.
All right.
You want to run through Nats and United really fast?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. We'll be really quick with this because I don't want to hold up the hockey folks and everything like that. So the Nationals had a pretty up and down week. They only got one game against their division rivals, the Braves, which was an 11-4 victory. They lost 9-4, 8-6, and 7-2 against the Braves. But then they took 2 or 3 in Chicago against the White Sox. The only loss they had was a 5-4, very close loss. They won 6-3 and 2-1. Their next couple of series, they begin a 3-game series in New York against the Mets, Juan Soto and the Mets on the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th. And then they come back down 95, and they will be hosting the Milwaukee Brewers this coming weekend, May the 1st through the 3rd. So they have that going on. And currently, the Nationals sit third in the in the NL East at 13-16. So there are 3 games under 500 at the moment. But again, it's a very, very long season. The one thing they definitely have to do is they have to fix the pitching problem, because that's the problem. And even Tim commented on this. Offensively, they are strong. They have been doing so well offensively. It's just the problem is that the pitchers are not keeping runs off the board. And so once they can get the pitchers to get on board and start keeping runs off the board with the offense being the way that it is, this Nationals team is going to turn it around. But it starts with the pitching. It starts with the starting staff. It starts with the bullpen. The pitching as a whole with this team is too inconsistent for me to be comfortable saying that this Nationals team could be a playoff contender this season. And that's what bothers me, especially. And I even felt this way when they traded Mackenzie Gore. When they traded Mackenzie Gore to the Rangers, I said this pitching staff's in fucking trouble because he was, even though his record didn't show it, he was the ace of this staff. And now you have to find a new ace, and then everybody has to get behind that ace and pitch and follow that man's example. And right now, we don't know who the ace is of the staff, but they need to figure it out damn quick.
Oh, I'm just so excited right now. TJ Oshie is the man between the glass for this Vegas-Utah game, and they just said 2018 Stanley Cup champion under his thing. So, like,
that's awesome.
That makes me happy. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited to talk about the next team a lot because the United had themselves a crazy week. That first game had a lot of scoring, right? It was tied.
Absolutely. So basically, the United, after the previous week where they scored 3 goals in 2 matches, this week they scored 7 goals in 3 matches and walked away with a 1-0 and 1 win and 1 draw record for the week. They went to a 4-4 draw against the New York Red Bulls. The scoring started with Julian Hall in the 15th minute, and then Ronald Donker scored in the 21st minute to make it 2-0 for New York. But then Ty Baribo scored in the 37th minute to make it a 2-1 advantage for New York. New York will make it 3-1 with the Jorge Ruval Caba goal in the 52nd minute to make it a 3-1 advantage. But then Jackson Hopkins scored just a couple minutes later in the 54th minute, and then Baribo scored his second goal of the game in the 59th minute. Then Jorge scored his second goal in the 71st minute to make it a 4-3 advantage. And then Baribo with the hat trick. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we had a hat trick. He scored in the 80th minute to tie it. They were not able to score any more in that, and it was a 4-4 draw. 14 shots for DC United to New York's 13, so they barely outshot them. But New York held on to the ball for 52% of the game, so DC United's 48. Then they turned around and beat Orlando City. Jackson Hopkins got the scoring started in the 10th minute. It would stay 1-0 all the way until the 57th minute with Justin Ellis getting a goal to tie it at 1-1. Then Tyrese Spicer in the 67th minute gave Orlando a 2-1 lead, but that's when Luis Monteo scored in the 84th minute to tie it at 2-2. And then right before stoppage time, Kai Rawls scored in the 90th minute to give DC that game-winning goal and a 3-2 victory over Orlando. They outshot Orlando 12-6, but Orlando did hold on to the ball for 58% of the game to 42. So again, 4 points earned by DC United this past week. They sit at 3 wins, 3 draws, and 4 losses, 12 points, good for 10th in the Eastern Conference table, but they do have a goal differential of -4, meaning they've given up 4 more goals than they have scored, which is an important stat to think about when it comes down to tiebreakers for the playoffs later this season. So they definitely have to improve on their goals differential. Their next matchup, they will be heading to Yankee Stadium to take on the New York City Football Club on May the 3rd. It's a 3 p.m. game for the United as they will try to get some more points and try to catch up to Nashville, which currently leads the Eastern Conference table. They have won 7 of their first 9 matches on the season, with 1 draw in there as well, good for 22 points and a +15 goal differential. So they are the team to look out for. They are the team to deal with at the top, but DC they got some work to do.
Yeah. I'm so excited that they were able to get 4 points. That's crazy. They got 2 goals in the final 10 minutes of that game and really turned it around, tied it up, and then, got the win right at the last minute, sort of. Great effort there in both games.
Yeah, a lot of scoring in these games. I mean, I would like to see more of that because again, they were coming off a week where they only scored 3 goals in the entire week, and those 3 goals came in that loss in the round of 32 for the U.S. Open Cup. So it's good to see that they can go out there and they can score. Ty is looking like he's a good replacement for Benteke, who was their premier goal scorer before he left in free agency. So I'm hoping that he can continue that trend of goal score. He didn't score in the game against Orlando, but hopefully he can continue it and be that goal scorer that Benteke was for this team before he left.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to let you give a quick shout out for what you're talking about on the No Spots podcast this week, and any final thoughts you wanted to share with the class before we get in our hockey talk.
Absolutely. As it's announced on Raw, another NXT call-up, Sol Ruka, is officially signing to Raw next week. So can't wait for that one. But on No Spots, we are going to have more talk on the releases that happened this past Friday and give our thoughts on that. We're also going to talk about with New Japan. They're on the road to Wrestling Dontaku, which is coming up this weekend, actually. So we'll get into that. We'll also talk about WrestleMania, give our thoughts on WrestleMania 42, which we've already given here and everything like that. But we will give more of our thoughts on that on our podcast. And of course, as I mentioned early on in the final thoughts, is to come to Jesus meeting for the internet wrestling community this coming Sunday. And trust me, I'm not holding a goddamn thing back. So just be ready for aggro champ because I'm very aggro at the news. A lot of the reports I was hearing about wrestlers being harassed by fans in Vegas and, WWE and TKO doing jack shit about it. Anyway, that's all we have. Again, we will be streaming the podcast this coming weekend on Kick, Twitch, and on Facebook. The audio will go up either on Monday or on Tuesday. If you can't make the stream, you can listen to the audio as well as watch the VODs on both Kick and Twitch and on Facebook. They will be up for a short period of time. But that's all we have for that. I will yield to the hockey crew and the rest of the crew coming on. Thank you all for listening to me as I was driving in my car. Goki Genyo, sayonara. See you all next week.
Thank you, Champ. Appreciate you as always. We've got a lot of exciting stuff to continue to talk about tonight. But that was great. I appreciate it as always. We will bring in our next team, eclectic group of fans from many different fan bases. We've got Ryan, that E flat guy, who is our resident Caniac. We've got C4 here, who's our resident Bears fan, so we're going to have a Bears update. We also got Adrian Rutherford, who is our big-time Oilers fan. So they had a rough one last night, but we'll talk about it, and it was an exciting game. And then we got Gil here helping me break it down with a fan of the Caps who, it's sad we're not in this mix. I feel like we could have done better than maybe Ottawa. So it is a bit of a bummer that they got a spot. We didn't.
Maybe Ottawa, maybe LA, maybe a couple of other teams. But despite that, Caps have some news that we're going to be hopefully get to. But they're making some moves already, making some plans for the off season.
Yeah, I did like getting to see our coach last night on the coverage of all the games on ESPN, and so he actually covered even the overtime game and was on SportsCenter as well. So it was nice to see Coach sort of out of the normal way that we normally see him, it's been an interesting few weeks. I think that Gil is alluding to the fact that we're going to have a little bit of a coaching change for the Capitals, which is something we've called for in the past, so like that. So I'm going to let C4 give her thoughts first, because she said that she really just watched the Bears and then not as much of the other playoff stuff. So I'm gonna let her give her thoughts, and she'll probably jump, and then I'll let you guys give your playoff thoughts. But C4.
I did see tonight's game, or most of tonight's game. We followed most of it.
Nice.
The Philadelphia game.
Yeah. That was disappointing for sure.
Let's just say the Mighty Sakroom is not very happy.
Yeah. It's very disappointing. And so they've made it a game, but let's go back to the Bears because I want to get your thought. I mean, Ovechkin was there. There's now reports that
Strome was at the game on the 18th.
Oh, okay.
We went on the 19th, but apparently Dylan Strome was there on the 18th.
Oh, cool. So I read a funny report today that Alexei Protas is Ovechkin's driver a lot of the time, and he just drives Ovechkin around to a lot of things, which explains that maybe how he ended up at a Hershey Bears game is that he wanted to go see his brother.
So he just
he's like, Ovi, come on in. And,
Ovi just tagged along.
Yeah, because I assumed that they would just like get a car and drive her, but maybe not. That just seems like a funny buddy cop movie right there, and going on an adventure. But Ovi brought them good luck, and they made it to the next round. But C4, what can you tell us about the Bears in the playoffs?
Okay, so the first series was best of 3, I guess, sort of to figure out who was going to get home ice and stuff. But so we played Bridgeport on the 21st. We won 2-0. Actually, David Gucciardi got the game winner at 12:31 in the third, and then Protas scored at 19:58, which I'm guessing was an empty netter. So that moved us into, so then they played, that was in Bridgeport. And then they played at home on, hold on, gotta get back here. I have one thing on my phone and one thing on the other. So, all right, Tribal Chief, I'm sorry, you gotta go away. So the next game was at in Hershey, which the Bears won 5-2.
Yes.
Cristal opened the scoring at 4:10 in the first. Matt Luffs from Bridgeport scored at 1:07 in the second. Bitten and Cristal both scored in the second. So it was at least a 2-point night for Cristal. Callum Ritchie scored at 9:57 in the third. Sonny Milano at 17:57, and Cherniev scored at 18:26. So there were actually a lot of penalties in the second game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 penalties in the first period and 3 in the second.
Wow.
So we are now off until next week, the 30th, right? We're on, what is today? Oh, actually, we're off till Thursday the 30th. Yeah, so we're off till Thursday the 30th. We have a track meet on the 30th, so generally when I have track meets, our teams play well. So hopefully it works well for the Bears as it did for the Capitals. And then the next game is Saturday the 2nd. Both of those games are in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, the Baby Pens. And then on Tuesday the 5th will be game 3 in Hershey, and Marcus and I are going to that game. Games 4. Wait, yeah, it'll be game 4 is also in Hershey, and then game 5, if necessary, on the 9th in Wilkes-Barre. So the 7th at home, the 9th back in Wilkes-Barre if necessary. So I also have a track meet on the 7th. So again, hoping that works in the Bears' favor as it seemed to in the Caps' favor during their season. So I'm excited. I don't know how they'll do. I mean, it seems they are picking it up and stepping it up. So hopefully the momentum continues. Stevenson seems to be playing better than he has most of the year. So I'm excited for them. I'm excited to see where they go with this. I would love to see him bring home another cup because we have 13 now. I'd like to have lucky 14, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, no, and I think it's just a great experience for Ilya Protas. Just he can't
Oh
make the
yeah.
playoffs, at the NHL level, but go back and he's not the captain of this team, but he's kind of like the
No.
unofficial, sort of leader,
Yeah.
MVP of the AHL this year.
Oh yeah. How
Yeah,
many?
so
He
yeah,
won all kinds of awards. He had like 6 of them or something. It was crazy.
yeah. So
And we were there the night they were presenting him, and it was like Ilya Protas, Ilya Protas, Ilya Protas.
yeah,
It's just like it was crazy. It was awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy he's getting the playoff experience. That will serve him well next year. I think it's also good for our other prospects, Crystal, Chesley, possibly Mugli, Cherniev, what's the other kid's name? Um, Rabinski. And then they've called up Parasek, which I don't know, but again, like what's the other guy that just called up now? I can't remember his name. Will they actually see the ice? I don't know. It would be nice if they do.
yeah.
But I mean, the
I think it's
experience
great.
I think
I
is
love that they're
good.
against the baby penguins. So like it's, to have
Yeah,
that rivalry.
redemption, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But
It
yeah,
sounds good. Well, we're gonna get on to some of the other hockey action, but C4,
that's
I
fine.
appreciate the Bears update, and
Yeah.
this has
Yeah.
been a fun and exciting Raw. I'll let you go so you can actually watch what Roman's saying.
Yeah, I'm sure
I guess
I'll go back and rewatch it in a little bit. But
yeah,
I do want to tack on to what Gil was saying about some potential changes. Thank freaking God.
yeah.
And I'll leave it there because I don't want to spoil it.
No, I think it's probably good. We can talk about it real quickly before we go. But Gil, do you want to talk about the coaching change that's happened today?
Yes. So they announced that there has been a parting of the ways. Kirk Muller will be seeking other opportunities.
Oh,
You
I
see
thought
the
that was
I
is
recognize that
everybody seeing
name.
what I'm doing with my fingers here?
Mm,
Emphasis on
yeah,
fingers, plural.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you were probably jumping up and down,
I
thrilled to death when the Caps picked him up, weren't you, Ryan?
I was at work when I heard about it, so it wasn't too much jumping, but yeah, there
Yeah.
was maybe kind of a lot of this going on, but yeah,
It's like,
so
yes.
Kirk Muller is no longer or will be no longer the behind the bench for the Caps as of the expiration of his contract in June. Um, the seeking other opportunities, yeah, let's call a spade a spade. That's BS.
Hmm.
Is this was I think they said that to save him the agony of saying he was fired. But if they did not make this move, something was rotten in the state of DC.
Hmm.
They had to.
Had to. The power play was
Yeah.
so abysmal, and it's like, how can you have so much talent and be so inferior on the power play? Like, it just doesn't make no sense. Like,
Yeah.
Ryan, if we were even average, we would have made the playoffs this year. Like, that's how
Yeah.
frustrating it was. We have so many games on the table.
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah, I mean, I am putting partial blame on us. Probably, I'm not gonna put
I didn't know probably.
100%. No, no, no. I mean, I'm trying to think what percentage of the blame I would put on that power play just being so awful.
But they
And,
just didn't change anything for huge amounts of time. It wasn't like they were like trying
and then
something
when
different. Like, yeah.
they did try something different, it was working, and then they would go back to the old way.
Well, they're kind of forced into it with like some players being like put on other teams and then getting rookies in there, and then it suddenly started working. I was like, maybe you should have like mixed up your personnel like in the months prior to that. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's a lot of time.
And then, well, it was like, but yeah, they were forced into it because of, whatever, then, and it would work and it would click and it would go for a few weeks. And then all of a sudden, Ovi's back to standing on the blue line.
Yeah.
Hello! For 2 minutes, he's standing on the blue line. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, hopefully.
I swear he was
I'm
worse than
excited to see what
Forsyth.
they can do.
I,
Well,
I,
it's been a problem with the last couple of different coaches. So like it'll be interesting who they get in here to fix this because it's not
well, I tell you, whoever does is going to have the balls to tell Ovi he's not going to be on the ice for 2 minutes.
yeah. Yeah, he's got to be the second wave. You know, like you got to attack with the young guys first, and then have him be like when their people are tired.
He
come
plays
in
cleanup.
yeah, it's just that's how it's gonna have to be. He's gonna. It's just hard to tell somebody that though when he's put up 32 goals and 32 assists. Which
Understood, but the man's also 40 years old. And if you go back and Gil and I were talking about this, and we've talked about it ad nauseum, so I'll just, he plays better when he plays fewer minutes.
Yeah. As most 40-year-olds would.
And so, I mean, that's all I'm going to say. I mean, I went into it
truth
ad nauseum when
Right.
Gil and I had our thing, but
but
you guys can listen to that in a week or two when it gets put up on the
Gil, when is
PowerPlay
the
point.
next? We'll give a quick shout out. Gil has been doing this thing where he has end of the season recap with different one-on-one interviews with Caps fans, and I got to be the first one. It was released about a week ago, I guess, and then the second one, is it out already or is it about to be released?
I am 90% through editing the second one, so barring any disasters, I'll probably be putting that out sometime tomorrow.
Nice.
And we'll let that run for a week, and then we'll come the next one, and so on and so forth. There should be a total of 4. Yeah, the window is closed. I had a good laptop that I was in possession of. I am no longer, put it that way, and that I was using to record. So the window is closed. So unfortunately, if you wanted to have your say, that's over with. But I did manage to get 4 interviews done. So I'm going to be posting them one week at a time.
Get another laptop in there soon.
Hoping.
But yeah, it was really fun to do. I'm happy to have been a part of that series, and I hope that people go back and check that out. Especially, we've got time to kill and no Caps hockey to watch. So, it's a good opportunity if you want to get your Caps fix. And all right, C4, any shout outs to anything you're doing over on the podcast over in Sakurum World? Are you?
I believe he's recording his season finale. Has he recorded it yet? I know it wasn't going to be.
I think we just
yeah,
did that.
You did. You just finished the season finale. Because I popped in at the very end on my way home from the track meet. So I coached. For those of you who don't know, I coach high school track, and it's getting into championship season. So we have meets coming up.
Hey, good luck.
Thank you. He's still doing he will be live streaming, I think, some of the playoff games. He's got his schedule out on the YouTube page.
Yeah, I just
So
posted it on the thing.
Yeah. So if you go there, All Sports Podcast Network, and if you go in there, he has it all scheduled out, the live streams he's going to be doing. Excuse me, sir. I have a cat trying to take over. He has been trying to take over all day. But anyway, Marcus, when's your next live stream? Okay. Friday, baseball, MLB. He's in the other room, so I can just ask him. But
will you be joining his wrestling show as well, or no?
Yeah, I'm on it occasionally. Usually I leave it to them. I mostly focus on the hockey on his, but no, he was asking about wrestling.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll let you get back to it, but I think you'll enjoy the end of Raw when you go back and watch that live. And we'll definitely have to get your Hershey Bear report next week on how they did in the first couple of games with the baby Penguins.
Yep. Okay. This is the cat that has been trying. So, okay, just so y'all know who I've been fighting. This is Sebastian. He has been in my grill all day long today. He has not left me alone.
Yeah. I had a cat that was attacking me, but he's now left me. All I'm left with is a sleeping dog that's behind me. So,
All
Good.
right.
Good co-host.
good. Well, C4, thank you as always, and
Of course.
we'll talk to you more next week.
Sounds good. Have a good night, guys.
All right,
Bye.
Care.
All right,
You too.
so Ryan, I'm gonna go to you next. The Canes have advanced and they swept Ottawa. Were you surprised that you were able to dispatch of them so easily, or was that to be what you expected?
I'm gonna be very tongue in cheek here and say it wasn't much. It wasn't really a lot like a sweep. Everybody, everybody, made fun of Rod Brindamore for saying that, but sometimes, these games are won in the margins, and I was very confident in the Hurricanes. You never know what's going to happen. I think I filled out a little, NHL playoffs prediction thing, and I had the Hurricanes in 5. I thought, Ottawa would probably win 1 in their building, and then the Hurricanes would take care of things in the 3 games at home, but they didn't even need the 3rd game. But it really is, I think, just both teams are pretty good at capitalizing on mistakes, and the Hurricanes were just more disciplined. They didn't make as many mistakes. So I think that kind of ended up being most of the difference. Yeah. So interested to see what happens the rest of the way with the playoffs. Man, I loved hearing about Kirk Muller. Just so much nostalgia. Wow, what a time he had in Carolina, and I just remember Cam Ward being asked. It was Kirk Muller's last season. We didn't 100% know it yet, but it seemed to be almost a foregone conclusion because Cam Ward, who's notoriously pretty sunny and amiable, like guy, literally would write "have fun" on his pads, and was asked, has the coach lost the guys in the room? Said something to that effect. Either like, does the coach still have the support of the guys in the room, or has the coach lost the guys in the room? And Cam Ward was just like, I don't even know how to answer that. So yeah. If you're looking for former Carolina Hurricanes people on staff, Kirk Muller would be right next to Bill Peters at the very bottom. I mean, at least Kirk Muller didn't like punch or kick any of his players. That was Bill Peters' issue. He was a real a-hole. So at least Kirk never had any of those issues, but he gosh, yeah, I don't think he really obviously had a great career as a player, but I'm not sold on his bona fides as a coach.
Yeah, we got Stuart in chat, the mod father. So there's 2.7 seconds left in this first period. Vegas actually at 2-0 lead now on Utah. So I was hoping Utah would win this game and take a commanding lead, but it looks like it's going to probably be a tied-up series. It's been pretty exciting and surprising for Utah. What a run here in their first, I guess it's their second year, right? So it's the first year as like a franchise with a name and a
the
thing,
Mammoth,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, the Mammoth. And I like their fake Zamboni that has no purpose other than to party.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's
amazing. I love it. I'm not being unironic about that either. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's great too. Why not?
I want to hate this franchise because I think the league is propping them up on purpose. They're just not being out in front about it. But you hear about all the stuff that they're doing, the jersey swap. If you had did you hear about that? If you had a Vegas jersey, because that was part of their fan base apparently.
Yeah, because it was one of their closest teams, so they
Yeah.
kind of like adopted them, and then they got a brand new team like suddenly, kind of out of the blue. Like it wasn't like they were told many years in advance that they were going to get this team, and so yeah, so I love the jersey swap, and it brought them good luck. They won that game, right? So, yeah,
But
so,
it's hard to hate a team that does stuff like that for its fans. I just hope for their sake they keep it up.
Yeah, I do too. No, it's exciting. I'm happy that hockey could grow in different areas, and I mean that city is an important part of hockey history in the United States, and it's sort of it's fitting that they have a team. So I mean if they've got a basketball team, why not, right? So.
I mean, if you want to talk about a franchise that's had favors done for them, I mean, look at who their opponents are, the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean,
Right.
Is there any team that's gotten better treatment from the NHL than the Vegas Golden
not at
Knights?
all. They're the only arena that doesn't boo Bettman.
Right,
That's not a coincidence.
They're literally the golden child, right?
Yeah.
So, it's. I'm just happy we beat them in 2018 because it felt like they were gift wrapped the championship in the first year. And
no. Like especially because they won Game 1 before the Capitals had ever won a Stanley Cup Finals game ever.
Yeah.
Right? So, like I felt like I was the straw that broke the camel's back, and the Capitals had to come back and get all 4 in a row unanswered. So yeah.
Yeah, I was so happy about that. And I love that we won in Vegas, so they got the party in Vegas. So you can't beat that, especially for Ovechkin. So, but yeah, I'm happy that they didn't win. I'm still mad that they've even won one already. Like that's still like bullshit. But
and 23, yeah.
Yeah. So but anyway, which. So Ryan, which team do you want more? Between Pittsburgh coming back in this series, Philadelphia, have any feelings whatsoever?
I mean, there is a very interesting dynamic in locally with there are just a ton of relocated Pittsburgh fans here that they show up, they're season ticket holders for the Hurricanes, but then when the Penguins come into town, they put on their black and yellow. It's like, it's a crazy, like it's the most like, we have a lot of, New York transplants and stuff in the area, but for whatever reason, there's just like a disproportionate number of season ticket holders that are Pittsburgh fans first somehow, which I don't understand. If you're a season ticket holder and you're spending all this money on a team, like why are they anyway, it is what it is. So I mean, so I would rather have Philadelphia just for that, for honestly for the intrigue of like they've never had a playoff series against Philadelphia.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the Hurricanes haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Whalers, but the Hurricanes have not played the Flyers in the playoffs ever. So that'd be kind of interesting. Another first time meeting. Like Ottawa was actually a first time meeting. There were a few close calls where they could have faced each other, but one team or the other lost the round before. So yeah, so that's just where I'm at. Competitively, I mean, Philly's young and fast. Pittsburgh's old and experienced. It's kind of pick your poison, really. So I don't know as far as matchups go, which one would be preferable for the Hurricanes, but
they're both poison.
Allow me to be even more blunt. Fraud from Eastern Pennsylvania or fraud from Western Pennsylvania? Pick your potential gentleman sweep there.
Yeah.
No, not to be an overly gracious guest, Ryan, but I 100% am looking forward to the Hurricanes wiping the ice, making whatever team survives that series their personal Zamboni and wiping the ice with them. I cannot wait to see that.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting because especially like Philadelphia, there was like a match right at the end of the season where you guys sat a lot of players and there wasn't a lot that you had to gain. Obviously, Caps fans really wanted you guys to win, probably more than you guys cared
Yeah.
about it
Well,
yourself.
yeah. I mean, what's funny about that is they went 3-0-1 in those last 4 games where they didn't play. Like they literally swapped out one of their top 2 scoring lines for each of those 4 games, and then there would be a few other like usually 1 or 2 defensemen that would be resting as well, and some other random guys throughout the lineup. But so they basically had like at least like 4 AHL skaters skating for them in each of those games, and still found ways to win. Unfortunately, lost that shootout to Philly. But that was the only loss they had while they were resting all those guys.
Well, and that's
Just kind of
good that
crazy.
they did that because I mean it showed being well rested wasn't, I think, important against an Ottawa team that's scrappy. And one thing, there's a couple of injuries coming out of this Ottawa series. What are your thoughts on will they be able to get healthy in time? Is it better this series goes longer between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh to give them time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, I have no idea. I mean, concussions are so strange. I mean, that's obviously what Nikishin is dealing with. Ehlers was out of the game, and I don't know. There is no. I think also partially because of Nikishin's big concussion that it's kind of distracted from the fact that Ehlers didn't play. And that he has some mysterious thing going on. I also wonder if it was just an excuse for Rod to send in Delorier to police the buffoonery of Ottawa. I don't know, but I do think obviously like more time is better. This group. And what I guess is really valuable is they now have consistency with obviously Brindamore being the coach for so long, but also their AHL affiliate, they're being coached the same way, like with the same system. And that's been that way for a few years now. And the guys that could come up to replace Nikishin or Ehlers, not nearly as talented, but probably are unlikely to make fools of themselves, in that situation. So especially on the defensive end, we have like a guy that's actually just basically our 7th defenseman that isn't really an AHL player, but he's just the guy that comes in, Mike Riley. And then they've got 2 AHL defenders who each of them played over 10 games with the Hurricanes this year, including earlier in the season when they had 2 guys out to injury and plugged them in. And obviously the Hurricanes didn't have any big like losing streaks during the season, so didn't hurt them that much to have them in there. So this is I guess what I'm getting at is like the injuries are important, but they've actually done a much better job this year than in years past of building out depth and having guys that can actually step up and do the job if needed to.
Yeah, for sure. Gil, any thoughts on either of the Carolina series or the current Pittsburgh and Philly series that's going on?
I'm actually kind of not surprised it was a sweep. I saw all 4 games. I don't know how to put this nicely. I'm surprised. I'm not going to say Ottawa's a fraud team like those 2 from Pennsylvania, but they're damn close. They have Brady Tkachuk, Drake Batherson, and nobody else for offense, and that just played right into Carolina's hands. They would go. It looked like the Caps. I felt like I was watching the Caps power play. They would skate 5 feet into the zone and then stop and then turn the puck over, turn it around, and that would happen 2-3 times every minute of every game. I don't know if it's just incompetence or Carolina is that good defensively or both. Probably both, but it got old. It got old really fast. Here we go again. Carolina's a boring team because they're great at defense. No, it's not true. It's like a deer going up against a tiger. It wasn't. It was a total mismatch. So that's how I saw it.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for like when you're in a playoff series, especially that first game, you're setting the tone, and shutting out the Senators in that game was huge and just really messed them up because it's like, wait a minute, first of all, I think a lot of people expected that it would not be Frederik Andersen in net. I actually did expect it to be Frederik Andersen in net. There is a long history of this kind of thing going on with the Hurricanes during the regular season where Freddie's up and down and then he pulls it together for the start of the playoffs each year. And so, of course, with Bussy having never played a playoff game before, Rob Brindamore's experience over talent, sometimes mostly to great success, occasionally to his detriment. But yeah, so anyway, so Freddie shutting them out, I think really got in their heads as far as like, we haven't scored a goal yet, this is not how we thought this was going to go, so I think because of that, I think it got in their heads and then put a lot more pressure on their power play than if it had been a 2-1 game or, whatever other score. I think it messed with them, and then you start pressing and you start making mistakes. And yeah, I think that's kind of the story was game one.
Gil, any thoughts more on the Penguins and the Flyers series?
I'm not surprised that the Penguins have managed to win back-to-back games with after backs against the wall and losing the first three. Not surprised at all. Will they win the next two? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. If they do, it'll be insane. It'll only add to what's already been an insane playoffs. But I don't believe in either one of these teams, so it wouldn't surprise me if it ends up going 7. So, hard to say.
It would seem very fitting for both of those franchises who hate each other so much for it to get the most amount of possible agony. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I personally think Vladar is gonna find a way to steal one of these two games and get Philly on to the next round. I think that's kind of where we're at this point. It doesn't seem like again with Pittsburgh kind of coming back, it doesn't seem like either team is separating themselves. Actually, my favorite moment of this playoffs has been after Crosby got the diving call and he goes into the box and there's that fan that's sitting right behind the glass and like somehow I guess I don't know if they get his attention or something, but he happens to look back at the fan and the fan just goes and he can't help but smirk a little bit. Like the facial expression said it all. You totally got caught. You sold that a little too hard, buddy. And he was kind of like, yeah, I think the face definitely said, yeah, I probably did sell that a little too hard.
He's always in the mix though. Crosby, you love him or you hate him. 2 assists, in tonight's game, but he acts like a bitch baby, and that's the first embellishment call like in years, like, and it's called then. Like that's how little respect the referee had for him, and why the coach was so pissed. He's like, they never call this, like, and
Yeah.
but it is why the rule was put into existence, right? So
No, yeah. I mean, I think what it is, like, a lot of times players fall to the ice, but the fact that he literally just turtled up, like, and stayed down on the ice, like, for way too long. That was the thing, is he was just down on the ice like he got knocked out. And it's just like, buddy, like, come on. You did not, like, get a concussion or whatever. Like, get up. Like, what are you doing on the
does not add
on
to
the
the
ice?
lore of why he's better than Ovechkin, right? Because you would never imagine Ovechkin ever doing that, right? So like,
No. I mean, I've told you guys this before. It's like, Ovechkin was like, like one of, honestly, probably like the only opposing player that I truly was like afraid of, like, as far as like watching, like having to keep an eye out for him, especially in his prime, where he was a really fast skater too, that could throw his body around like crazy.
I think he's top 5 in hits all time. Like
Yeah,
that's like unheard of. He has more hits than like the next 20 like top goal scorers like in current generation like combined. So like it's wild stuff. No, it's pretty. I hope we get one more year with him for sure. I think that we will. So Ryan, have you watched any of the other series? Oh my god.
And my dog, if I looked distracted this whole time, like my dogs were like sleeping on the couch upstairs, and then like being perfectly quiet. But then of course, as soon as I start to get on broadcast, they want to come down here and have a little scuffle. So I'm like constantly shifting them around.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I got distracted. Oh, there's another pup. Robbie, you're getting ready to ask me something, and I don't know.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was saying, are there any of the other series that you're watching, or you've just been pretty much watching?
I've been very intrigued by Montreal and Tampa Bay. It's been a tight series so far. I actually picked Montreal to go to the conference finals. Wow. I think they've got a core group that's young, but they've been battle tested. They've had some playoff pushes. I think they got eliminated by Florida as well last year, if I remember right. No, who did they get? No, they played you guys. That's right. They played you guys. They got eliminated by you guys, but they've learned, I think, their lesson from the Capital Series and other events of the past. And Lane Hudson, Slavkovsky coming to life in the Olympics, I think was what really sold me on him. Best on best, being a great talent, and then of course, surprising but not entirely surprised that he got a hat trick in the first game. Unfortunately, now he's down with an injury, so I don't know what's going to happen with them. Tampa Bay fought their way back in that series and might end up taking the series, so I might look dumb, but I do think with a healthy Slavkovsky, it would be a different story.
Lots of overtime, some exciting games. The first 3 games all went to overtime, and and so it could have gone either way. So yeah, it's been really exciting for sure in that series. Gil, have you had any thoughts on that series?
Every game decided by 1 goal. Can't get any better than that come playoff time. Can't ask for anything more. And like you said, lots of OT. I think one might have been the first game went to multiple OT. I love that. My sleep cycle probably doesn't love that, but the rest of me does. But yeah, that and the Dallas Minnesota series, easily the 2 most competitive series so far.
Yeah.
Dallas Minnesota series is crazy. Also a lot of overtime and close games and back and forth hockey, and Been awesome. I do want to talk to Adrian about his series. The Ducks, man,
Yeah.
it sucks having to root against John Carlson. Because so Ryan, obviously, we had the draft pick swap, for their first round pick. So technically, we want them to go out sooner, right? So that way the pick,
Oh, with the Ducks.
yeah, goes up. But also, we've talked to Adrian for a long time. He's a big fan of Edmonton. So it's tough though. I think that these Ducks are really scrappy, and there were so many close calls for Edmonton in that last game where, you know, obviously McDavid is injured and he's fighting through it,
Yeah.
but there were so many close calls where just at the end he just couldn't get it up and over the
No.
pad, or and it's just usually we see that from him and he just couldn't finish. But
Yeah, I feel like they if they don't advance in this series, which is looking very likely, I'd be okay with them bowing out at the first round just so they can recharge their batteries and make a better run at it next year. Because when you think about it, like getting to the finals 2 years in a row and then like going to the Olympics in the middle of that, also to come up short for McDavid and Wilson and Team Canada, it could be kind of frustrating. And I feel like this might be their opportunity to take a pause, take a break, because they're getting older, right? Like it's not too late for them to achieve like their ultimate glory that they want to get, obviously, but I feel like they've done so much in such a little amount of time, because like it's 2 months, right? Like if you make it all the way to the end of the series,
Right.
an extra 2 months of hockey, and it's not just like regular hockey, it's like the most intense, like winner take all, the most important hockey there is, and it's a lot of traveling, a lot of stuff like that. And I know like
a lot of pressure on McDavid,
Yeah.
just because like for 2 more months. But
Yeah.
I feel for him so badly to be this great player. This is what I was always hoping Ovechkin wouldn't become.
Yeah.
This great player that couldn't, win the big game, and
Yeah.
it's just disappointing.
I'm glad Ovechkin's got at least one on his, resume. Like at the very least, McDavid did win the Conn Smythe back in 24, which is good. But I would obviously it would be, I feel like he deserves to be among the all-time greats, and the all-time greats are of course engraved on that cup, and that'd be fantastic. But just doesn't feel like it's their year, because like I felt like the strong start to last night's game, game four, like the 2-0 lead, which is funny because like I was helping my sister put her kids to bed, and when I was finished with that, I thought it was 2-0. Like, oh, this is great. And then I'm on my way back to my house. I'm watching the game on my phone, and then the Ducks tie it, and then I had to go do something else, and then Edmonton gets it 3-2. Like, man, maybe I should just like not watch this game, because like every time I'm not watching the game, Edmonton does something great, and then when I am watching the game, something bad happens, and then that like nothing burger looking weird ass game winning overtime goal where they had to like review his skate, like did it go underneath, like did it go past the line, Jari's skate, like the goal, like the referees didn't call a goal like, on the ice, and like they had to be reviewed to death. It was such a weird looking outcome to that game, and obviously it's not what I was hoping for, but that's just like how it goes, man. Like McDavid can't just like keep going in the offensive zone by himself and getting dogpiled by 2 or 3 defensemen at a time anymore. So it's like we got to try something else, and it's and also like last year I think it was Hyman was out on an injury, so he couldn't last the rest of the postseason. But this year he is in it, so I thought like, oh, maybe we'll do better now that he's back. But still, like, I just wish it was a better outcome. But yeah, the Ducks are just such a strong looking team. Carlson, of course, sexy Carlson is not helping Edmonton right now. But also, I kind of wish we went up against the Kings again. Like, I know they are. the Kings already hate Edmonton so much. It's like, just have them hate us like one more time. You know, because Kopitar
That would
retired.
have been ridiculous, though. Isn't it like 5 years in a row before that, though?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
absurd. I was like, haven't we done this before? Like, oh yeah, it's like 3 or 4 times in a row. Like, there's so many times I've lost count. And it sucks because like Edmonton has either lost in the finals or they lost to Colorado, who would go on to win the cup, or the Golden Knights would go to win the cup in 23, and then the Panthers would get revenge the following 2 years in a row, which sucked. But at least they didn't make it to the postseason this year. And Ryan, your awesome Hurricanes shout out Kachuk's brother. So like,
yeah,
like,
no more Kachucks.
I'm petty about that. So yeah, it sucks, but like it'd be great if they could make a comeback. But it's also like you guys got such a long road ahead, even if you guys do advance past the Ducks, because like with Colorado sweeping the Kings and this Utah Mammoth Golden Knights series being as tight as it is, it's yeah, and like the Dallas Minnesota series, like Gil said, like 1 goal, you know, deciding games like every time. It's always going to be close. So yeah, if they don't make it past round 1, at least they won the 1 game, which is better than the Senators.
Yeah,
can say. So yeah, so I would love it if they advance, but if it's not their year, it's not their year. Maybe they can, you know, just take a breather. Like give McDavid a break, man. Like he's been, yeah, like carrying.
Poor guy needs therapy.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like
yeah.
It's so close and just not making it happen. And I know being so close is great, but
yeah.
It is, in my view, it is both it's both a great strength and a great weakness that he's so singularly focused on hockey. Like, I mean, I know like all professional athletes are like that, but I've heard him in interviews. It's like getting him to talk about anything other than hockey is difficult. Like, you know, so like he just really like that's all he wants is to be, you know, the greatest player and win Stanley Cups, not just one. He wants to win championships, you know. And all the players have that desire, but I just feel like his personality, especially, he just eats, sleeps, and breathes that. Like,
you see it on where he lost the gold medal match, like just like the pure like heartbreak on his face. Like I don't want this stuffed animal.
Yeah, it's so weird. They all got like the silver medal and they got handed a stuffed toy. Like they're grown men getting handed these little beanie babies. Like this is so strange. It'd be great.
At least everybody gets handed the beanie babies. It's not just the hockey players. It wasn't like
but it's like where it like stands out the most. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's so funny looking. Like at least Zibanejad, like he moonlights as a DJ, right? So he's got like a life outside of hockey. So like if he never gets anything ambitious in the hockey world, at least he can return.
He played so well in the Olympics.
So. Yeah, he did. Yeah, so it's like maybe, you know, have like a side hustle. You know, that's what everybody's doing these days. Welcome to the millennial world, baby. So yeah.
I will give a quick scoring update. Vegas did score a 3rd goal. They're up 3-0 now, and then on the power play, almost scored a 4th goal, but the power play is now over. 14-11 left in the 2nd period, though. But I know there's a lot of time, but like it's not going very well for Utah.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of time left in that game, but Utah has all of 4 shots in 26 minutes of play. It ain't their night.
Yeah.
And that's going to really throw this series, because if the series ends up being 2-2 going back, and Vegas has home ice in the best of 3 series there, it's going to be tough for Utah.
Yeah.
It's the night. It's nighty night for the Mammoth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it could. I mean, I do definitely think a team like. Obviously, I know they've only been the Mammoth for a little bit, but I mean, before them, Arizona that group hasn't been to the playoffs in a while. So it's very, very hard to come through in your first playoff series. There's a few exceptions to that. I would say we might be seeing that in Buffalo this year. I was a Buffalo skeptic. I kind of thought, I actually thought Boston would find a way to kind of grind them out and keep them off the board as much as they've been. but obviously that hasn't happened. So they kind of have a little bit of that Team of Destiny vibe going, where there's just you can see there's a lot of belief there. It comes out in how they play, and obviously Boston's imploded in the last game, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they've got another win in them. Honestly, it might be next game might be it for Boston.
Yeah, I want to give a couple of quick little shout outs. Richard loves music's in chat, and he says that Ryan's a truly wonderful musician, which I agree with.
Thank you, Richard.
He was also talking about a couple other things in the past. He said that he admires Ovechkin's hockey prowess, but he hates his loyalty to Putin. I will say you kind of like can't say anything other than that when you're like the face of Russian hockey, like for the sake of your family, but I understand people's thoughts on that, but
I don't, and I'll leave it at that. But
yeah,
if whoever this Richard is truly understood the situation, but whatever.
Okay. Yeah, but basically, I don't think that he is a Putin, lover and stuff like that. I think he says whatever he needs to say to stay and having a family in Russia. And then he had asked an earlier question, and I kind of wanted to get Ryan's thoughts because he probably hears stuff in Carolina. The Diana Rossini situation.
Oh, God.
So he's in England, and he says it's nonstop over in the media there. Is it that case?
That's
the rest
crazy.
Of the country?
Oh, God.
Dear God.
Yeah, it is pretty big.
Yeah. It's kind of, though, I feel like here it's only if you're looking for it, like if it's all over entertainment news, I guess is what I should say.
Yes,
so it's crossed over from sports into entertainment, and that's probably why you're hearing about it. But you might talk to the average person on the street and they still might not know who either of those people are. But if you're following sports or entertainment, you definitely have been hearing about it.
There's now rumors that there was 2 other coaches at their other alternate party. So 2 other coaches. Which is oh no, and there's talk that McVay is one of them. So anyway,
what a mess.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So messy.
Yeah,
God.
Utah, by the way, just scored.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So
hey, they did it with very few shots on goal.
Yeah, exactly. So
is it still Hill for Vegas? Is that who's goaltender?
No, they Carter Hart is in.
Carter Hart. Oh God. How did I forget? Ugh.
Yeah,
another
cluster F in the news sports world.
I think it's really honestly Vegas is a team that I hate to watch, so I just avoid watching them as much as I can. So I try to forget that they exist most of the time.
Yeah, they're on a short list of deplorable franchises, but they're not the top. They're pretty damn close.
You wouldn't believe this, Ryan. Utah just scored again.
Yeah, let's go!
Unreal.
That's 2 goals.
That's crazy.
Seconds.
What's going on over there?
It's like Beetlejuice. We mentioned Carter Hart's name, and he starts playing bad.
Right. So, oh my goodness.
I wonder if maybe, gosh. Somebody, must be something to do with the gambling odds.
Right, yeah. It was deflected up and in off of, I couldn't tell if it was a deflection off of a stick or off a body, but at 11:27 in the second period. So there is a lot of time left in this hockey game.
Now there is.
Yeah, it's still more than half of it to go. The place is going nuts there in Utah, not surprising. So, Lisa says, Utah is my state. And she said, you want me to see? I want you to see what? I don't know. But I'm happy that Utah is your state and that they're doing well. Anyway, we're I want to go around the round table and ask if there's any other series that we haven't talked about with each one of you that you wanted to address. So I'll start off with Gil. Any other series that is exciting that we haven't really talked about with you yet that you wanted to address?
Well, we haven't mentioned Colorado and the Kings because they're not worth mentioning. So we'll skip that. What was the Dallas, Minnesota? Yeah, we haven't talked much about that. I honestly did not have that pegged as a very exciting one, but I love the back and forth. I like the goalie duels. I think it's largely been a game of can you top this with each goalie. And Minnesota has been surprisingly resilient. Didn't see that coming, honestly. So that's a pleasant surprise. I love how Boston is imploding. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Always a fan of that.
The goalie yelling at their own bench on the way.
That's gotta love that. That's
peak right there.
I
wonder why that team hates their goalie before this. It's not a new thing. Like,
well, that's a thing that's come out. Apparently, they're not enamored of Swayman, and they might have the talk in Boston is they might have traded away the wrong goalie, but it is what it is. I'm just glad to see them crash out of the playoffs because they're another fraud team in my eyes.
I also like to see Boston crash out in all sports. So no offense, as we have a Boston fan, Richard, in this chat, but that is
Richard's not making a whole lot of fans tonight.
No, Richard's a good guy, but he is a Boston sports fan, so I will rag him a little bit. We got so it's still 11-21. Vegas is up 3-2 in their game, and there's also 2 NBA basketball games that are going on as well that we'll get to in just a minute. I see that Tim is joining us, and we'll bring him in just a second. All right, Ryan, any other series that you want to talk about before we let you go tonight?
I mean, I will say, I am impressed with Colorado, winning some grinded out games. I mean, the Kings were a pretender, but to their credit, they had a plan to shut down the Avalanche and slow them down, and it largely worked. Because they were so defensively focused, it was hard to generate any chances that could, get them to win. But Colorado still was comfortable playing that kind of game. When they tend to be a little bit more, I guess, of risk takers, I guess, than they have been in that series. A lot of guys for Colorado didn't really score through the first 3 games that you would expect, like McKinnon and Natchez. So that was seeing a team. Oh, let's go! Let's go!
This is crazy. This has all happened within 4 minutes of game time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Since we talked shit on them, so it's pretty impressive actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've been I think the another interesting one is the Tampa Bay Montreal series.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you recall, when it was the COVID bubble, this was the finals.
It was,
which will never happen again. So it's kind of interesting to see that kind of revenge fantasy play out. So obviously Tampa Bay won that a few years ago, but God, it was 5 years ago or 6 years ago, wasn't it? Oh my God, time flies.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's just like the other, oh crap, over half a decade ago. Yeah, but so I've been enjoying watching that, and I watched way more Hurricanes than I wanted to for game 1 because what I was watching, they wouldn't show the Edmonton game until the overtime for Carolina wrapped up. So I was like, just somebody win already, please. Oilers. And that was the one game Edmonton.
The double overtime?
Yeah, the double overtime. So
yeah,
maybe the games need to go into overtime for Edmonton to win. I don't know. Maybe there's a connection there, but I know that's not going to be good news for you, Ryan. So
speaking of which, Gil, we have to make a correction. Because last week we talked about the disallowed goal, and you were explaining to me that Martinook was offsides, but the NHL came out with a statement. The video review room in Toronto, they said that Jordan Staal had possession of the puck but not control, and that was why the play was called offsides.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Because the replay I saw showed Martinook was maybe, I don't know. Can you see the width of my fingernail?
Yeah, I know, right?
Probably maybe cut that by a 1/10, and that's how far.
So they were looking at, because when Staal made the play across the line, and they actually used the Oilers as an example, because apparently Connor McDavid had a similar situation in the regular season that they called back a goal. But it's just like possession but not control is such a weird concept, and also like, these guys are NHL players. Do we really believe that they don't have control of the puck when it's not immediately on their stick? Like, they know where it's going, and they, it just seems so silly.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the thing, that it's very, I learned that, possession and control mean two different things in the NHL rulebook. I wasn't really aware.
Yeah.
So, that's quite fascinating.
Something else about that rule is a player with the puck can legally skate backwards over the line and not be considered. His body can be over the line, the puck behind him, and he's still considered onside.
Right. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I can't remember when that might have been around the same time. I think all that offsides ruling, they changed it at the same time, because it didn't used to be that way. It used to be a lot simpler. So anyway, but we could go on a tangent. But I guess Robbie, I guess maybe to wrap things up, is that people have picks for who they want to have, or who's going to be the champion, or
I haven't asked what the round table, but I find that very interesting. So I'll start with you, Ryan, since you posed a hard question. Who do you have? Why don't we say the final four, because that might be more interesting.
It's kind of early to tell.
Well, I had, like, before everything, literally before the first puck was dropped, I had picked, in the East, I had picked Carolina and Montreal. And then in the West, I picked Colorado and Edmonton.
Yep. All right, I'll go to you, Adrian, next. What are your thoughts now with what you've seen so far?
I mean, obviously, I wanted Edmonton. As of right now, with Colorado stomping the Los Angeles, and I think Colorado could go to the finals. They won the finals they won it back in 22, right? So they got a strong chance. I'd say for the East, it might be Buffalo or Carolina. That's my bet. Buffalo's been pretty good the regular season this year, and Buffalo is that place, right? It's the cursed sports town, right? They are eager for some sort of action to give them hope when there is none for decades. So I'd say Carolina, Buffalo will be the East Coast finals, assuming there isn't any grotesque injury or sort of I don't know, show-stopping event that'll derail the entire postseason as we know it.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah,
Can't even joke about that because that's happened before.
I know, right? Like, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to be that guy. Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know. I like Buffalo and what they're doing to Boston, but for some reason, I could easily see them losing to either Tampa Bay or Montreal. Like,
Yeah.
just because I think playoff appearances, and I think sometimes like you win that first round and you get very excited, but you have to win four of these things. Like,
Like
it's
the Blue Jackets
so,
of 2019, where they stomped the crap out of the President's Trophy winning Lightning, only to never win a series again. And before that either, and then the Lightning came back to win 2 Stanley Cups in a row. Yeah, that would be
exactly.
that could be the next Buffalo or Blue Jackets thing, right? So.
I do want to give a quick little scoring update. Phoenix 84, OKC is 99. Interesting matchup. West in basketball, and we'll be talking to Tim in a second about that. Unfortunately, Utah didn't score on the power play, and I like that Lisa is in chat rooting for them. Hopefully, they'll find a way here in the last 6 minutes of the second period to get another goal, but. Just because it's starting to get late for you guys, I'm going to let everyone give their final thoughts, but I'm going to go Gil first. Let people know who's on the podcast this week and with the interview show, and any final thoughts you have.
Okay, so pardon me. This coming week, I have my sometimes co-host Ginny Clausen. I refer to her as Miss Gin Dependent. Her perspective, spoiler alert, is a bit more on the stats analytics side. So she'll be focusing on that. I'm sure you'll love all of the answers that she serves up to my questions. So look out for that in the coming days. Yeah, and we're going to continue with the format, and I just want to say they made an announcement that the big blog site, Japers Rink, is shutting down their website, and they're going to be reverting to Discord. So it's going to be more of a community-based thing. So if you were a member of that community and wasn't your thing, we've got quite a nice one on our end, mostly on Facebook. Here at the Power Play Point podcast. So welcome any Caps fans. If you want to be a part of the discussion, we've got a pretty good chat room that gets pretty lively and yet respectful. So just wanted to put that out there as well.
I agree. I really love that chat room on Facebook Messenger. So if you can, I just put the links in chat if you want to join that Facebook group. And then you can always send any of us moderators a message and we'll put you in that group. And it's really fun to talk live game day and give your thoughts on it. And I really like what Gil and Anna have built over there, a great community. Yeah, it's super fun, and thank you, Gil, for continuing on this playoff journey with me. I know a lot of Cap fans sometimes tune out after the Cap don't make it, so I appreciate you still being a part of the ride with me. So.
No, I've loved hockey since I was 2 years old, so I'm not about to turn away from it now. Even with my favorite team in their huddled up in their war room for the next 3 months.
Hey, I mean, if the coach can watch it and be on commentating, then we should be able to.
Well, it was surreal just now in the Vegas game. TJ Oshie is behind the glass interviewing Nick Dowd. It doesn't get any more surreal than that if you're a Caps fan.
Right. That is very strange. So I guess that's the one advantage if Vegas goes on is good for Nick Dowd. I do like him a lot. So. All right, well, sounds good, Gil. I appreciate it as always. I'm going to give Ryan his final thoughts. And are you streaming this week? And let people know where to find anything that you want to shout out.
Yeah, I'm actually changing my streaming schedule because I've had issues, role conflicts with Wednesday mornings that have been cropping up more frequently than I would like. So I am now streaming Tuesday mornings instead. So you could tune in tomorrow to see that E-Flat guy jamming on some tunes. Usually starting around 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So we're just gonna have fun. Not a particular agenda tomorrow, other than just making music because I haven't gotten to do it in a little bit. So that's what I do here on Twitch. I'm not a sports guy on Twitch like Robbie and Gil and everybody else. Although I appreciate being offered to cameo from time to time. So
I love getting your Hurricanes perspective, and hopefully throughout these playoffs, I definitely, you've got an open seat any week that you have a Monday night available. I always like to get your perspective. So I think it's fun, because it's hard to be in the fans' shoes, of the team, and so you obviously know a lot more about it and way more invested than we are. So, yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely a time where, Hurricanes went 10 years without going to the playoffs. And because of that, I was a high schooler when they were previously in the playoffs, back when Rod Brindamore was skating for them. And I learned the hard way in 2019 that I couldn't be quite as invested in it as an adult with all my other responsibilities as I could when I was a high schooler. I kind of tried to have the same amount of time and energy put into it as I did as a high schooler. It's like, oh wait, there's a reason why this doesn't work and feel the same, because I'm an adult that has real responsibilities now. So I had to get used to that. I mean, it's still probably more time invested than the casual viewer, but yeah, no, it's the best postseason in all of sports. I mean, I spent that whole decade picking a team usually to just kind of follow and root for. Many of those years it was the Sharks, and so that would usually lead to a disappointment. But I wanted to see guys like Joe Thornton and, funnily enough, Brett Burns, who's still playing, win a cup. So that was
Brett Burns is one of the great evolutions of a pitcher, from his as a rookie to
crazy
caveman over time. It's one of my favorite things. So he's put in the mileage, as they say. So
he's got a bunch of exotic animals at his property. This guy is and he and he goes out and hunts weird game. I mean, more common, is deer and stuff, but I think he does some other kind of weirder stuff too, I'm pretty sure.
Penguins, maybe?
It's pretty good. Anyway, all that's to say, it's hockey is incredible. I do wish we would. The only thing that would make it even more incredible is if we got better officiating when the play stops. Just a little bit more control over all the craziness that goes on between the whistles. But beyond that, it's the best. I mean,
I wish that so much more of this country watched hockey. I feel like many people don't even give it a chance, but I still think it's the greatest sport on earth. But they're flying each other with ice blades on ice, at each other and hitting each other.
Yeah.
Getting a little uptick thanks to heated rivalry. I've been seeing posts on social media about.
Liz is gonna rush down here and do a heated rivalry segment if you say it too loud. We went to a heated rivalry rave, Ryan, literally 4 days ago. So
I don't even know what that entails, but
it entails mostly 20-something-year-olds, and I felt very old. It was
it's amazing.
But it was quite entertaining. So my wife had a good time, so that's good. So
that's good. That's important. That's what's most important.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
All right, Ryan. Well, I'll see you tomorrow then, hopefully. And look forward to that. And definitely people should go check him out. And Yeah, it's always a good time over on Ryan's stream. He does a lot of great stuff, and I will give a shout out real quickly because we're about to bring Davy on. That you did a great job at the Pets of Twitch. You say that you're not a sports guy, but you do great play-by-play. If Gil and Adrian may or may not know, what the Pets of Twitch is a competition where streamers put up their pets, and it's a live vote in Twitch chat over which pet wins. And Ryan does the play-by-play. It's almost like a score back and forth. And we were having over 100 people watch this, and some of these votes had over 100 votes cast, which, a lot of people watch Twitch streams but won't actually cast a thing. And so, these are high numbers. So these 5 minutes were just frantic. And Ryan did a great job calling the back and forth action. No overtimes this year.
We did get one, actually.
Oh, you did? One?
We did get one on the last stream, extra vote. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just one, though.
Okay, fair enough. And so is that the first semifinal of that night? Is that what?
Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah, I think you missed that one.
I was in a metro. Yeah, so I missed that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, but a lot of great close matchups and great call on the mic by you and a great job by G and all the rest of the crew and for Dane and stuff.
Shout out Tina French, who was lead moderator getting all the polls together for that.
That's true. Tina is wonderful. So she's definitely our biggest MVP on this stream over here. So, it was a lot of fun. I just had to at least get that in and congratulate you on another second year in a row of doing a great job over there with that.
So much fun.
And I'm excited for more hijinks and craziness to happen throughout this next year on Twitch. And
who knew?
We'll have you back on soon to talk about your Canes throughout this playoffs.
Who knew pitting people's pets against each other would drive up engagement? It's really fun though. It's basically March Madness with people's pets.
Yeah,
and it's a funny crossover of people who don't care about sports at all and people who love sports like we do.
Right, and it's because you can like pets or sports and you can do it. And Lily and Neville were in the semifinals last year, or actually they made the finals of one of the brackets last year, and didn't do as well this year without the Instagram voting. But I do think it was stronger just having it on Twitch. So even if it didn't do me favors, I think it was the right decision in the long run. I like how it's evolved over time. But Ryan, thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll get you back on to give your thoughts throughout the playoffs.
Thanks. It was a lot of fun. I'll hopefully see you guys soon. Appreciate you.
Sounds good. All right, Adrian, any final thoughts before we let you go?
Yes. I hope Edmonton, of course, does well. But if they're going to lose, I'd rather them lose right away than go all the way to the finals and lose again. Just take a break, relax, heal those injuries, take some time off.
Everybody's allowed an off year.
Exactly. And maybe they'll do better next year with this rejuvenated time. But either way, it's been good. It's been a lot of heartbreaking stuff for Canadian sports since 2020 with the the silver medal in the Olympics, the Blue Jays losing the World Series to the Dodgers by this much. Good Lord, it's been a lot. So I'm okay with just cooling off. I would like to watch hockey playoffs from a distance, have teams I'm not super duper invested in so I can actually relax while I can watch the game. That'd be a nice change of pace.
Would you root for Montreal just to break this streak and get a Canadian team in? I know that you don't like Montreal, but I was curious about that.
I wouldn't say I don't like Montreal. I got nothing against them. I love the Montreal Expos because they gave us the Nationals, and I did like the Expos when I was a kid when I knew nothing about baseball at all. But but yeah, if they were gonna be any team to break the Canadian Stanley Cup curse, I was hoping it was gonna be Edmonton, of course. But if Montreal, the main reason why I would say I'm not a fan of Montreal is because they've won the Stanley Cup more times than anybody else, and it's yeah, you guys realize that y'all won the Stanley Cup when there was only 6 teams in the freaking league, right? It's one thing to be the best out of 6. It's another to be the best out of 32.
Yeah.
So,
I'm all too familiar with that mindset with
Right.
Carolina basketball fans.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah,
Claimed championships from like 1912 or something like that.
But I got nothing against Montreal, so to speak. But yeah, I'm not like I wouldn't say I don't. I got nothing against it. My brother was actually born there, and I have a cousin who is from there, so he roots for them, and he's a cool guy. So if he's happy, I'll be happy for him. But like with that being said, I'm like I want Edmonton to break the curse. Damn it! But yeah,
yeah. I think everybody wants to be the first one more than they
Right.
want to see
Yeah.
a Canadian championship.
Exactly.
It's so interesting because I know a lot of Canadian fans that like are against Edmonton, or like Janaea is like roots against. I'm like, are like people are against Toronto and stuff like that. But it's just so interesting. Davy is here, and he wanted to ask a question as well. So
I just wanted to say one thing. Like we talked about Montreal claiming most of their championships before expansion. You can say the same thing about the Maple Leafs. Like the Leafs have done the same thing. They haven't won squat since 1967. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
True.
So that's a very good point, Davey. Before we end the hockey segment, I do want you to get your thoughts on Kopitar and the Kings. Do you want to give that real quickly before?
Of course. Okay, yeah. I don't want to keep everybody waiting, but yeah, what a great player. Like, and it's interesting because like I really think that. And by the way, how's my levels? Like, is my sound coming in okay? Is it too low? Like, do I need to bring it up?
No,
like,
you're good.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Great. So yeah, he's the guy I grew up with. Like, Kopitar was my guy. Like for like basically since I got out of college to now, and he's just been a rock on the team for so many years, and he's just been the consummate team player. He's always like making the people around him better, and a great leader. I mean, just one of the most well-respected forwards in the entire league for such a long time. I'm really glad he finally won a cup back in 2012, and then they won another one in 2014.
Yeah.
So he was been the face of the Kings for 2 decades strong, and really just kind of like the guy for this to kind of lead off the 21st century. And so just incredible player, but strangely an incredible player that still ended up under the radar for lots of reasons. Probably because he played on the West Coast, late night hours and whatever for a lot of people on the East Coast watching those games. But he definitely is a Hall of Famer in my eyes. I think he's just one of the all-time greats in the Kings. Of course, his number is going to be up there. Of course, there's going to be a statue of him later. Not even a question. Just one of the. It was a privilege to watch Kopitar play. So tough and such a. It seemed like a lot of people felt like he was such a generally good dude too. Like it's just great to see that kind of an ambassador for the sport be part of the team that you root for such a long time.
Yeah, respect.
I agree. I mean, I think he'll be right up there with the greats, and he really played the game right. I just like that he played with a team for so long. Like we're just seeing less and less of those players now. I'm
surprised. I thought he would have been traded somewhere by the end of that, But he still kept it going. Like he actually was all right for up till the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like, I have so much respect for them and the Ovechkins and the Crosbys of the world that actually get to stay with the team. And why I kind of felt bad for like a John Carlson who had been, such a cap for so long. But like, how do you not take a deal where you get a first round pick for, an aging veteran like that? And you could lose him for nothing at the end of the season. So I get it. But it's so tough to be so close to being one of those players that only ever play for one franchise. So it's definitely something that's really great. So thank you for shedding light on that. All right, well, I'll let Gil, Adrian, and Ryan get out of here because I know it's starting to get late, and since Ryan's going to be on the air in not that many hours to get his beauty rest. But thank you guys for giving all the great hockey talk all night long. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Thanks, Robbie.
Yes.
Okay,
guys.
All right.
Bye, Ryan. Bye, Gil.
Bye.
Hey, Davey.
Bye.
Hey, Tim.
Have a good one, Adrian.
Take care, fellas.
What's up, man? We'll catch
See
up.
you guys.
We'll catch up again soon, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. See you guys.
All right, sounds good. And I mean, you guys can always feel free if you have questions to still stay in Facebook chat and ask. We're gonna switch over to talk a little bit of basketball in the playoffs and stuff like that. But Tim, how are you doing? You're actually coming out of Canada today, right? So that's wild.
Yeah, been a while coming from the Pacific time zone, so a different feel, not doing right at the end of the night, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And
I felt bad that I made you guys wait a little extra time, but at least it's over there. It's not like 11.
no, I was soaking up the hockey talk and checking up on baseball and NBA scores at the same time, so it's
Yeah.
all good, yeah.
Yeah, so
But
the live
it's been
scores
a
right now, we got Denver up 53-47 over Minnesota, and we've got OKC up 106 to 98, and again, it's getting closer in Phoenix as they're starting the fourth quarter there. I'm watching them on the YouTube TV, so it might be delayed for some people out there that I'm sure are in front of me on some of these. But it's good to see both of you guys. It's been a while since I've had both of you guys on the show. I'll start off with Davy. What sort of NBA playoff series have been most exciting for you so far?
Yeah, you give it. Well, hi Tim. Hi Robbie. It's good to see you again. You're right. It has
Hey,
been
Davey.
a minute. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. So, I imagine the people in where Tim is right now must be just gushing over how the Raptors pulled off that comeback over Houston the other day. What an exciting ending that game.
Yeah, I kind of realized that being in Canada for a couple months now, like the whole country really does adopt the Toronto teams outside of hockey, because you might think they would root for Seattle or another West Coast US team much closer, but out here in Vancouver, they're going to go Canada first. And so it's, the Blue Jays are always on, they're national, plus the Raptors were on in the morning. I think that was yesterday they tied it up, and people are pretty stoked. So, it's exciting here for sure. And I kind of like some of the games on the early side.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Other series I've been following. I mean, the Knicks and Hawks. I think I was paying more attention to it in the beginning of the series. I kind of lost track of it, but it is a good series, and it looked. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what side to pick on that one. That was a tough call. It was a tough call. I do think the Knicks are going to win. But Atlanta is really giving him a series, and it's a completely different team without Trey, isn't it? Like, it's just like a totally different team. In fact, I think the Hawks led they were like top 5 or something in team assists. That's kind of nuts. Like, what a totally different team this is now.
I'm questioning the Wizards trade for Trey Young. I mean, we'll see next year, but clearly it's an addition with subtraction because his defense and I don't know off the court stuff, but it seems like you're right. They seem like a much better and different team since the trade.
I feel like you have to get rid of an identity to take on a new identity, and so I think that he represented a lot of the old guard and what they were trying to do, and I think they kind of had to rip off the band. I mean, you're starting to see that with the Wizards, where they're so much turnover. Finally, you're starting to see obviously they weren't trying to win, but you could see there's a lot of growth in the team towards next year, and it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out. I will pass on a message from our resident Knicks fan and Scott Firestone Rocks Drums. He was streaming earlier, and he wanted to share some thoughts. He thinks that the Knicks, he's very happy with how they're doing, but he thinks that they have not achieved what they should be, that they're underperforming, and that they could be doing a lot better. And they're kind of getting a little bit lucky with some of the wins. So he thinks that they need to improve and play.
There have been some close games for sure. Yeah.
2 1-point losses in a row, which is an NBA record for a playoff team.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's going to be a very interesting Game 5. It's going to be very interesting. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I'm hoping
tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is tomorrow, Lisa's asking, what are our thoughts on the Jazz? Davey, what are your thoughts on the Jazz?
The Jazz?
Well, I guess they didn't make the playoffs, right? So
no,
they got it.
They were bad. I know the big story though for them in the past month is they got a big fine for tanking. So they were kind of made an example of, you could say, because the NBA has a big tanking problem. And they were punished for sitting healthy players. and just to kind of play subs and lose games because they were right at the bottom with the Wizards for the top, 3 picks.
How did the
So
Wizards get away from that? Because I feel like they were doing a lot of that too.
yeah, I mean, I think every team was doing it. Like the Wizards had the Reese from Maryland get a bunch of double doubles only because everybody was hurt and not playing that was healthy. So he went from like G League to playing most of the games. And so clearly it's like you're playing 4 stringers for the last 20 games or so. So I guess their case was so egregious. But I get, they kind of sound like a mess right now, although they're going to get a good pick. So they're going to get a good player. I think this draft is supposed to be decent. So maybe it'll still pay off despite the fine.
It is surprising. I mean, I think I saw some people complain. I can imagine people are complaining about them even still having the pick. Like, why did the league even let them keep it? I don't know what the authority of the league is to take away a lottery pick, but man, if there was a case, this would have been it.
Yeah, interesting.
They're gonna make changes somehow.
Things with like our minutes and how we were playing players that were on fire, and then we would sit them randomly. So I was like, we must have just flew under that radar, right? Because there was some like games where I was like, man, we could have definitely won that game based on how the stats were trending, right? And then we do some things to sort of pull it out the rug from under us and keep the losing streaks alive. But
I have a quick question. Like, so the Wolves are up 3-1 on the Nuggets. I think we got what's happening today? Is that happening? That's still going on tonight. The Nuggets.
Yeah, they're playing now, almost halftime.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because the Nuggets were. I mean, the Wolves were giving. It's weird that the Nuggets were giving 11.5 in that game. And for good reason, because, like, man, the Wolves are so short-handed now. They lost 2 key guys in the series. And it just makes you think, like, even if they finish the series, like, what are they going to be able to do in the next round? Like, they're pretty badly compromised after, with all those injuries. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, they're right now losing by 8. We've got the final 20 seconds here of the first half. We'll just take it. Look,
I don't think they're going to win the game, but, I feel like they probably might have enough to win this series. It's still, though, it does make you think that the Nuggets have a little window to come back in the series.
Well, also, they seemed so angry after how it was
treated. Yeah, Jokic was wanting to fight at the end of the last game.
Yeah.
I mean,
they broke
what are your guys'
basketball code.
That? Yeah, I think that is kind of a dick move. Like, they had stopped playing. You just dribble it out, Davy. Like, what is he doing? Why is he scoring there? Like,
if a game's well in hand, I mean, there's no reason to do that. There's no reason to do that, right? Like, I kind of see it in college football too, but it's not as big of a problem. And I wouldn't. It's not really the same thing because in college football, they're kids. Like, kids want to get a chance to score touchdowns. Like, yeah, I can understand that. But this is a professional sport, and it's the playoffs. It's like, no. Like,
I feel like it's like showing them up. But, like they had already clearly given up the ball to them, And I thought that was a poor move.
If they're not defending, maybe if they're trying to steal it.
They weren't even have players past half court.
They were walking back like it's over.
They were walking towards their end line. You know what I mean? Like, you had the whole entire court. Like, you could just choose just to stand there. Like, it's anyway, we'll see if that ends up hurting them, because it'd be interesting to see if the Nuggets come back and win this game and gain some momentum going back towards Minnesota. As you said, there's these injuries, and this OKC Phoenix game is getting pretty close, though. It's a 10-point game. OKC is up by 10, 112 to 102, with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, this is it for Phoenix. Like, they're already down 0-3 in the series, so it's one of those scenarios. Like, you kind of saw with Houston yesterday. Like, whenever a team is like, they have the backs to the wall like that, they're probably going to give you their best game with that kind of desperation.
Yeah.
And conversely, the other team obviously not going to have as much, as much of a urgency. So it only makes sense.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the Lakers a little bit, because they're sort of like my second team, although it's hard for me to root for a LeBron-based team. So I have to admit that
it's LeBron and son.
Yeah, LeBron.
So it's generational.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that.
Bronny Jr. scored, though, I heard, right? And was that garbage time or?
He got an oop or like from his dad, which is kind of nice. But
Any of us could score in a leak out too, It's like.
But I like that his dad like smacked him upside the head like during an interview, and it like so stunned him that he did not know what to say during the interview. It like really threw him for a loop. I was like, that's some crazy shit. I can't even imagine like my dad just like playing a prank on me on live on air. But yeah, I don't know that this team is not the same without Luka, and I kind of think that they should get him back in sooner rather than later, if nothing more, just to warm up his body and get him ready for whatever the next round is going to entail.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. Like I feel the opposite. I think they've had a really good thing going. I mean, Marcus Smart's been able to really stretch his wings during the series as a result of Luka not playing and Reeves not playing. It's interesting because of how it turned out. Like, I think on paper you're like, well, yeah, bring him back when you can. But the way it's played out, like between him and Kennard, like, I think this is a better. Like, they should just ride out what they got left over. They're already up 3-1 in this series. Like, just.
I think it depends on if they can win it out without, fine. But I think in a game 6, you had to start looking to bring some of these guys.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say because I think game 6 is in LA. So if they come back. Yes, they're up 3-2, but I feel like if they lose that game and then it becomes 3-3 going to Houston.
Wait, question.
No.
I think game 6 is in Houston because like the Lakers at home court.
Oh, the Lakers at home. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe then game 7 because then it's like do or die.
Yeah, I hate basketball bringing a player in a do or die game because they're cold,
Yeah, let me ask a basic question. That's the thing. That's the other thing. Like, I think if you're going to bring somebody in cold in the middle of the series, I don't generally think that ends well. But here's my question to both of you. When this series started, who did you like? And I think everybody liked Houston, right? Like, it seemed like it was they were a pretty clear favorite. But then started watching
with the injuries or before the injury. I mean, like on paper, if you had Luka,
the way it was set up, without Luka, without Reeves, and with Durant on the other side, like that was how it was set up at the beginning.
I didn't expect Durant to sort of fall apart in the series and and be this like very strange factor in a very
refuse to play basically.
Right? Yeah,
he's like a net negative. It's crazy.
Yeah, so that is a huge impact on.
But going in, Houston did have all the vibes and all the expert picks because I was checking out some prediction articles and stuff, and the Lakers maybe read some of those to get motivated because they were like very dismissive of the Lakers, like saying they were huge underdogs, but they still had home court and lots of pedigree. But yeah, just the vibes and the injuries, I think people wrote them off, and then they just kind of dominated through 3 games.
So. Earlier in the season, when they were playing full strength, I would have taken the Lakers in a heartbeat, right? With Luka, and you don't even have to do much with LeBron, and like I don't know. It's definitely going.
You can't put them in now, though. I think that's sort of my takeaway. It's like let's just ride or die with this because they had a good thing going. I think the reason they lost game 4 is just because LeBron was so terrible. Like he had only 2 field goal attempts in the whole game. So it's like, I don't think that'll happen in game 5.
I don't even understand how that happens, but
I speculated in the group chat.
I'm sure.
I think he wanted another game. That's honestly what it amounts to. I think he wanted more. I think it's the silliest argument.
Well, no, I mean,
I said he wanted more.
Do you think the Lakers ownership would want that home game because there's a lot of revenue in Game 5? So
I think the league wants it too. I think the league is probably rooting for it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a marquee team. I think they want the Knicks to go long. They want the Lakers to go long, and those are the teams they like in prime time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's so true. It'll be interesting. Tim, what are some of the other series that you're watching?
Well, it's kind of under the radar, but to me, it's a shock. Just the Pistons going down 3-1, and they're in deep trouble, even though they had a dominant season and got the 1 seed relatively easy by several games. They're still young, but they had that tough battle last season in the playoffs with the Knicks in the first round, where they took them 6 games and could have won the whole series. So I thought all right, that's enough kind of testing and a good experience that they would probably at least go to I thought Eastern Finals and probably lose to the whoever wins the Knicks Celtics series. But just to bow out in the first round to a play-in team would be crazy. Like I think Orlando is definitely better than an 8 seed on paper, but still, to have to win a play-in, they were kind of lucky to get there, and then they've really dominated. Like even the Pistons win. The Magic had some moments, so I just that one to me is the biggest shocker, and I feel like a little under the radar just because Detroit and Orlando, they're not the biggest teams nationally, so that could be ending next game.
Wow.
Big time goal by Utah there.
I didn't
3-3?
know.
3-3.
Yeah, 3-3. Just saw that. I didn't know who to pick, surprisingly, in that series. I think it's just because I wasn't familiar with either side of that. But would this be considered a huge upset, Tim? Like if the series finishes out that way?
I would say yes, just because 1-8 upsets in the first round in the NBA are rare, especially compared to hockey, where like 8 seeds win, not most of the time, but like it's not rare. Just because the NBA is in a 7-game series, it's just fewer upsets, and the NBA is pretty top heavy now with a team like Detroit. They had one of the best records in the NBA. But I don't know. I think just they're just kind of choking. Like I was looking at the stats. I didn't watch the first games, but I was following tonight, and all their starters were like -10, -15 differential on the floor, and all their subs were like +6, +8. And so I kind of wonder the coaching too, because like at some point in a must-win game, if the second string is doing well and the starters aren't, like just be bold and make the change.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, but
one thing I do know about this series is that there's been some terrible offense. These scores have been so low. It's crazy in this era.
Yeah, that's so.
Especially when you look at OKC and Phoenix, they both went over 62 in the first half. So
yeah,
that's like 3/4 of play for the Orlando Detroit.
Yeah, I just can't believe the Magic are pulling this off. Like, it's kind of like a play-in team in the March Madness, going up against a 1 seed, and it's up there with those levels of. But the Magic are just like this scrappy team, and they're just able to play good defense. And
I guess the question then goes back to the Pistons. Like, where is the star power? Cade Cunningham, I think, is the big guy there. Like, is there a lot of star power on that team compared to other teams?
Yeah.
I don't think so, because they're obviously very deep and have like a really strong top 10, but it's not like the NBA championship teams recently where you have 2 or 3 just like top 10 players basically.
Yeah.
Because you need to be top heavy to win these series. And but that's why, again, I still thought they had enough to maybe get to the Eastern Finals.
Sure.
Because like if you look at the East, you've got the 8 seed, and I just checked, there's only been 6 8 seeds to beat a 1 seed in the first round since 1984. So pretty rare, but not like impossible.
But what's interesting is of the ones there were 7 teams that took a 3-1 lead, and it just said that 6 out of 7 have been successful. So like that bodes well.
Yeah.
Yeah, for them. So they just showed that side on the screen. So.
But yeah, you're right. Maybe this will kind of tell their GM get another star, because some of these secondary guys are not bringing it in the playoffs.
Yeah, stars win these games a lot. Like with OKC you have SGA. With Denver you have Jokic. Every team's got that guy. And Cunningham is a very good player, but I think one other guy would be big for them.
Yeah, no, I agree with that sentiment. It's It'll be interesting to see. So just so people know where things are in the standings and upcoming games. So we do have this Nuggets Timberwolves game. The Nuggets are up 60-51, and then at the end of the fourth here, the last 6 minutes or so, the Thunder are still up 117 to 106 over the Suns. Tomorrow, the 76ers take on the Celtics. The Celtics have a 3-1 lead in that series. Davey, what are your thoughts on the Celtics 76ers theory?
Yeah, I think the depth of the Celtics is just overwhelming. Said Philadelphia here. I was expecting a little bit of a closer series, but admittedly, I don't have as much intel on Philadelphia in that series. But I'm hardly surprised at this. I mean, they have like three really good players, Tatum and Brown, and they do have like, even though I know they had that embarrassing series loss last year. I think it was the one to the Knicks, right?
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had like back-to-back
Tatum got
giant right. And that's the difference. Like Tatum has a plus 25 plus minus in the last game. They're having their way with the Sixers, and honestly, the Sixers are kind of more of a
Utah. Take the lead. Sorry, 5 minutes left, or 5 minutes into the third.
You guys jinxed them so bad. They have as many goals as shots when you started talking about Vegas Knights.
Dave, you missed it. I was talking so much shit on Vegas, or on Utah, because at the time Vegas was up 3-0. I said this game is over. There's 12 minutes left in the second, but it doesn't really matter. And ever since then, they had 2 goals in the next minute after I said that. Then they got a third and now a fourth goal. So they've shut me up pretty good on that.
Yeah, no, that's a big comeback. So I think we will. I don't think the Celtics are really going to get tested that much the rest of the way for this particular series. But I will once again, and I'm sure Tim will too. I'm sure you will too, Robbie. Like, we will once again ask the question: Is the high volume of 3-point shots going to eat them up at some point during the playoffs? With Tatum in there, I think that'll it won't be quite as much of a feast or famine situation. I definitely think they're going to do a better job this year in the Eastern Conference, but still, I don't think this is the litmus test. The litmus test will be in the next round, and if there's a rematch with the New York Knicks at some point, that's going to be a heck of a series.
Yes. Speaking of the Hawks,
that's slotted.
Their series is tied 2-2, and that's a 8:00 start tomorrow. That's going to be such a big game in New York. I really feel like if New York loses this game, that series is over. I
think so.
So. I think that this game is a do or die for the Knicks. I really don't.
I mean, it's tied, right? So it's like if they're down, it's down 3-2. I don't know if I would
going to Atlanta. I mean, they did win their big last game, but yeah, it's tough if you're if you go down 3-2.
Yeah, but if every game's been close, like even the ones on the road,
I don't know. We'll see.
Interesting.
I think the Knicks' history in the playoffs doubt starts to creep in, right? So, in recent years they've had some struggles, and so
it's like old Caps vibes, or maybe new Caps vibes.
So we'll see. I think that they should really try to win that home game. I think that it will serve them well, because I do think they will win one of the last 2 in that situation, but we'll see. And the Trailblazers Spurs, I know that Tim, you covered and talked about the Trailblazers for a long time, and it's been an interesting series with the Spurs up 3-1 with Wemba Mania and all that sort of stuff. But Tim, what is your thoughts on that series?
It's been a crazy kind of roller coaster series in terms of, I mean, the Spurs are heavily favored and looks like they're going to win, but they had that huge scare in game 2 where not only did they blow a lead and let the Blazers tie at 1-1, but Wemby got hurt and was in the concussion protocol, was able to come back quickly, but it looked bad, for San Antonio for a couple days. You thought they would be lucky to split in Portland without their star, and not only did he come back, but they won both games relatively easily, although the game 4 required a huge comeback, like a historic comeback. And now they look comfortable, and it's just crazy because I think you have to take San Antonio very seriously as a title contender, because Wemby is, now that he's healthy and he's back, he's probably even better in the playoffs. And you never know with a young player in their first playoffs if they're going to be the same or often nervous and choke, or sometimes they're even better. And that's what it's looking like for him and the Spurs. And they've got that pedigree from winning 5 championships. So, I think they're going to be heavily favored to at least make the Western Finals and play OKC. So it's just now, they're kind of solidified as a really strong team.
Yeah, I think if he plays down towards the basket and doesn't, rely on jump shots, I think that's where the young guys get really in their own head sometimes in their first playoffs, is when they're jump shooters. I think that he's got this length and this strength, and if he just believes in and relies on that, and plays his game, it'll be interesting to see.
He really has been doing a great job playing. And Wemby is so much fun to watch. Like, he's just all over the court, so agile. For someone that tall to be so agile and be in and out every shot on the opposing team's end, it's just a great player to watch. It's been really fun to watch him. And ultimately,
I didn't know if he was going to be that guy. I was scared that it was going to be a bust. I don't know why. I
think the reason you might think that is because of his frame. Like, he's such a skinny guy, right? Like, that you wouldn't think a guy that skinny and that tall would be able to make an impact in the NBA like he has been. But he's been great. Like, he's got just the touch. Like, he can shoot. Like, he's really good.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I saw that frame and I was like, that can't work in the NBA.
It's kind of a Porzingis frame where, like, great player, but injury prone with the lower body injuries.
Like frailer potentially than Porzingis. Like, I feel like
I agree with that too.
Yeah, I don't know. I did not expect him to be as agile.
He had to hit the American gym.
It's great to see that, and hopefully, we'll see what the next round brings. Like, he's definitely one of those guys you can root for.
The future of the league, and that's kind of exciting to see. And San Antonio does a good job of getting these big guys through history, right?
And foreign players, they always have the best international.
So good at international scouting. Yeah. And they just 30 years on, they're still doing it. It's really good.
Yeah.
Any scout would have picked him, but still, they get second. You're right though. They get second round guys, late first round guys that are turning into starters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm just hoping that the Wizards can find a season where they're not tanking. I just want to see what they could look like if they could get it all together and get some of these European players or these French.
Well,
guys.
they've got to stop. They got to stop acquiring all these has-beens, Robbie. They're building great All-Star teams from 2009. We got to get some modern players in there, something.
Right. Yeah,
it's true. And stick with a young core. Don't just trade them like Denny and.
I'm so mad about Denny.
Rui Hachimura and all. It's just it would have been. They were good players in Washington. It was,
Rui had to hurt. He's such an everywhere player. I'm surprised. That he's not even that expensive.
Well,
that is surprising.
But I feel like Denny and Rui were almost competing with each other. They
didn't fit well on the roster at the same time. They were both worse at defense then too. So.
Yeah,
they were liabilities to play at the same time on defense, but
it's just so interesting because I feel obviously looking back now, they're so talented. I wish that they could have found a better way to make it all work. But I felt like there was too many other players trying to get touches, and they weren't getting enough touches, and it was kind of a mess for them for sure. The Wednesday games, it's the Rockets and the Lakers. Hopefully LA is able to finish them. We got the Magic and the Pistons. It's back in Detroit, so they're trying to stave off elimination. We got the Raptors and Cavaliers series, which is so good. It's tied 2-2. That'll be an important game back in Cleveland. And then the Suns and Thunder, we'll see if we even need that one right now.
Not looking good.
Are up 126 to 115 with 2
curtains
left. Yeah,
bring out the brooms.
Yeah, so
wait, which series? The bring out the brooms?
The Phoenix OKC one. So we might.
Oh no, absolutely.
There's only 2 minutes left, so.
Nah, this is done. This is done. Yeah. I think the thing that's really great, one of the things that really stands out for me with the Thunder, I kind of diss on them like earlier in the month, because I'm like, it's probably like the least flashy team to ever win an NBA championship, but it is a very complete team. And I think what they do so well is their defense is often very, very good. Like I can even see right here, Caruso's like right on top of this play.
Yes.
Like he got fouled, but still like same idea though. You get the idea.
No, but he plays with the intensity, and you need those sort of players. And like,
yeah,
they might
and a
not be
bunch
that
of people do that,
sexy.
like SGA does, and yeah, for sure.
They know their roles really well, and they play within the system well, which is important versus relying on individual effort, which I think a lot of NBA teams, unfortunately, like the Lakers, for example, we saw like LeBron not putting in the effort, and it really tanked their chances in that game. Right?
It's much more of a team here, and it is you got to give them a lot of credit for taking care of business in this first round, because like especially coming off a championship, you might think fatigue might set in or injuries might set in, but they've done pretty well so far.
Yeah. Do you still think they can make it all the way back, or is it just something where they feasted on a worse team?
I'm gonna get Tim's quick hitters on that. I'm curious what you think, Tim. Like that's interesting.
I think it's going to be a coin toss between them and San Antonio, just because and this usually doesn't matter, but San Antonio dominated them in the regular season, and I think no team beat them multiple times, and they beat them 3 times out of 4, I believe. So there's something with the head-to-head, maybe the matchup could give San Antonio a little edge. So I would say if I had to bet on it, I'd probably take San Antonio, but I don't feel comfortable. I mean, I'd say coin toss, and they'd be the Vegas favorite probably still assuming they both get to the Western Finals.
Davey, is it a true bracket in the NBA, or do they reseed?
It's a true bracket, and I personally don't like that. But I did some research on that yesterday, wondering why they don't reseed. But apparently, it's because the scheduling would be a little ridiculous if they did. So, for example, like this series right now with OKC, they win. If there was a reseeding scenario, they would actually have to wait out every series in the rest of the Western Conference before they could decide like who they're playing and when they're scheduling the game. So, it's a little bit defensible. I think they could still work out a way to where they don't have to do that, but I think they would have to pad in extra days if they wanted to implement a reseeding system. Because like definitely a different ball game from like the NFL. There's only one game. They all happen at the same time, and that's spaced out over like 3 weeks. So I don't know. I guess I'm not actually even that keen on how they do it in the NHL. I think they do reseed, but because of this whole divisional format, it's so strange. I don't even really know what's going on there. But yeah. I didn't mean to. I kind of wondering if Tim had a feel for that too. Like, would you favor the reseeding if they had that option?
I would. I mean, I think again though, it's just they're so set in the finals. The NBA finals are like this 10 days, and they sell the ads like 3 years before or whatever. But it's better because if you think about it, like what happens is so chaotic when let's just say, for example, Orlando closes it out. Then theoretically, like either Toronto, Orlando, or Cleveland get to the Eastern Finals, but only Boston and New York, that's basically becomes the Eastern Finals. I mean, maybe that's getting a little ahead of it, but wouldn't you like to kind of see them go head to head in the Eastern Finals in that scenario? So
yeah. I definitely I favor it too, because it's like it's you're kind of wasting potentially great matchups in the conference final in the middle of the playoffs, and like I mean sure it's going to be a great matchup, but like you said, it would be so much more exciting if that was for the championship when it's pretty clear the two best teams. I think that you don't get as many good matchups with the current system. I mean I get it in college basketball because there's so many teams. Like how can you even do that? But in the NBA, I definitely think you could reseed if you wanted to.
Also, it's different when it's like a series versus an individual game. Unfortunately, Vegas just scored to tie up So it's game 4 is now tied, and just a few minutes left.
Double jinx, both teams.
Equal opportunity jinxer over here. So,
so you're rooting for Utah? Like, I don't know a lot about Utah. Like, I'm not familiar
just
with
because
them
I feel like Vegas is just our arch nemesis from that Stanley Cup run. So
more anti-Vegas than anything.
Exactly.
It's funny. I mean, they're technically the division rival of the Kings, and I probably don't hate them that much, but yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, we also have someone in chat who's a Utah fan, so I'm rooting for her as well. So,
was she a Utah fan when they were in Phoenix, or did they become a fan when they moved there?
From Utah, so I think.
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
That's why she asked the question about the Jazz. Yeah, so.
Was that Lisa? Hi, Lisa. Are you still in the chat?
Yeah.
Hi, Lisa. Yeah. Good to see you, Lisa.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's something exciting. Right now, the Nuggets are up big in the second half here, and OKC, it does look they're about to finish this one out now. 131 to 120. They're sort of walking it out, and gonna not do a layup. Maybe. So, actually
not break basketball code.
What was the spread on that game? I wonder. They're up by. No, I don't think they're gonna cover.
Even bigger, yeah.
It's pretty big. I thought it was like 15. I'll have to go check.
Okay.
But
interesting. Well, then they will cover that then at least. So.
Let me see. Hold on. I'll let you know.
131 to 122.
They are up by 9.
Yeah, that's the final score.
And the spread apparently was 11.
Right.
Depending on where you got it.
Didn't quite cover. They should have dunked at the end. Then Vegas would have.
Should have pulled a Jokic.
Yeah.
Vegas would have been the winner.
Yeah. That's really funny.
It doesn't matter. I mean, a sweep's a sweep, right?
Oh, that is
I don't have money on it. It doesn't matter to me.
No, that's good. That's smart.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah. All right. So I figure we'll probably start to wrap it up here. Lisa just said, "Ah, dang it, Utah." So I want to get your guys' final takes on any, and you can talk about any other sports things that you want to talk about as well. But Davey, I'll start it off with you. Any other NBA thing that you wanted to mention, or other sports topic that you wanted to talk about?
Maybe I'll take a moment to get more into the hockey stuff, since I know you all had a really good discussion about that earlier. But I think I am looking forward to the second round of the NBA too, because I think there's some potentially good matchups. But like I said, I think the reseeding would have improved that for sure. I am very curious as to what is going to happen with the Wolves going forward, because I don't know how sustainable it is to lose really important players on the team. It's one thing when with the Lakers, they were expected to win the series in the first place, and they're really surprising everybody. But with Minnesota, they are definitely one of the players. And yeah, this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be. I mean, at least they still have Ant though, so that's good. But yeah, I'm a little concerned on their end. If they win the series and they go on, I mean, they're gonna be compromised for sure. So that's interesting. As hockey goes,
I don't think they're winning this series. I think they're gonna lose this, even though they're up 3-1. I truly feel as
they definitely could. Yeah, I actually thought the Lakers might do the same thing, which I'm a little worried about that too. But
yeah,
because they're playing, they kind of felt that. Do you guys think that the Lakers are playing over their heads in the beginning of that series? I don't know. I personally thought that Houston just wasn't that good. I think they got off on some bad teams.
Is Kevin Durant coming back, and is he playing at any reasonable amount? Those are, I think, important things to know.
Important questions.
To find whether or not they have a real chance. Because if he does come back and shows out, even scores 20 points a game, that makes a huge difference for them. So
that's good. Yeah.
Also, to me, it's not a great look, because obviously Durant, that's bad for the team cohesion, but also their coach called out their young players for blowing game 3, because Houston had a pretty big lead and should have won that game. And to me, he's right. I mean, they should have been more mature and closed it out, but that's kind of something, I don't know. When you to me, it's hard to come back and win a series when your coach says something to the media. So there's clearly they're kind of not on the same page, and probably have a lot of players mad at each other and coaches mad at each other. So I just don't. It's going to be hard for them to win 3 more in a row.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Denver's having a lot of dissonance in the locker room in the over the years, haven't they? Like, it's just been interesting to follow that. They won a title, sure, but they certainly have had a lot of drama behind the scenes. It's interesting.
Yeah, firing their coach like late in the season. That was
he wasn't even that. I thought he was a good coach too. And
he
like
was
it's just so
hired
weird.
again. Yeah, it was the timing was off. Like
Yeah.
there's something between the GM, owner, all the way down the organization.
Absolutely.
Davey, I have a question just in general for you. Where do you think do you think the legacy of Kevin Durant, since because ever since he left Golden State, like he hasn't been the same, and I applaud him for trying to go off and do it on his own, but like it's just so interesting now looking at how his career has sort of transpired, and now like I feel like he spends just as much time talking about video games and Twitter as he does about actual basketball, and I don't know, it's just I feel kind of very different about him than I did a decade ago, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, there's no denying that his credibility in terms of his legacy has been reduced, diminished, compromised when he tried to go to the Warriors, and it seemed that had already won 73 games before he got there the year before. And it's like, I mean, look, like, listen, like, nobody, I'm not going to you're free to do what you want. It's a free country, right? But you're just not going to see that and not think, wow, man. It's like, really? Like, it's what, like, I know LeBron kind of did the same thing with Miami, but this is like a different level. Like, it's like a team that already had won, basically was good enough to win a championship already.
But should he have stayed? I mean, he literally left to try to prove himself and couldn't, and
I don't, that's a fair, I don't know. Like, I don't think it would have made a difference in terms of his individual career because he started to really break down injury-wise anyway. I think it would have just been a difference of, like, would he have done that, on the Rockets or whatever other team he was on in the middle of that? Or would it have happened while with Golden State? I mean, I think it was just going to happen anyway, so I don't think his career would be that tarnished overall. But you're always going to put that little asterisk next to Durant's name going like, well, yeah, but he kind of greased the rails on some of his career to make it easier for him to win championships. And it's tough to kind of overlook that.
Right. And the inability for him to since, because he really claimed that he was such a big part of that, to win it since, where I feel like Steph has looked better since then than if you look at the career as a whole, right? So
yeah, I mean, he's obviously going to be an all-time great player, no matter what.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're right. Like, I think you're not really thinking of him as a feared player in the league like we used to. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's no Shaquille O'Neal or MJ or what I mean. Like, it's just not.
Yeah.
A tier below.
Yeah. Exactly.
Still a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. All right, so just to give a scoring update, Denver is up 78-59 now in their game. And we still got 5:30 left in the third. But I think Denver's going to blow them out of the water in this game as the trend.
Robbie, if they do pull this off, what would you like me to do on my stream? Like, that's kind of wild that you would predict all of that. And honestly, I don't hate it. Like, I think there's definitely there's definitely a window to it. I certainly can see it happening.
Denver coming back and winning this, you think?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
It would.
Like, do you want me to just do just a whole stream with just Capitals stuff? I'm just like,
exactly.
I wear a jersey on the show. I don't know.
You have to eat a bean every 10 minutes, So.
Eat a bean every 10 Okay, I'll eat a bean every 10 minutes. That sounds good.
There you go.
I actually would prefer the bean over the Capitals.
That's fair.
It probably costs you a lot less, economically. So,
yeah, the jersey would be more expensive.
Yeah, just one can.
You're selling my bait, so.
You have a deal. You have a deal.
All right, that sounds good. All right, I'm gonna start to wrap it up here. We're gonna get your guys' final thoughts, and then we'll raid out. But poor Elisa's blood pressure is rising. This is a crazy.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that, Lisa.
Yeah, but
at
Davey,
least you have pleasure. My Kings got bounced hard. It was never a series, man. It was
your team made it. Still got farther than the Capitals, so.
Yeah, but that's an interesting question, right? Like, would you rather make it and then get blown out, or would you rather just not make it at all? And it's kind of a 50-50 scenario.
Yeah, it depends on the year. This year, I'd probably rather miss it. I don't want Ovechkin going out on this first round sweep. That would suck.
Yeah, and especially if he had like lost to the Penguins in a sweep in the first round.
Oh yeah, that would be awful.
Ends his career on that note, like that would be worse. So,
the odds are pretty good that the Caps are going to go against a really good team in the East anyway, right? Because the Kings did that. Because they went up against the Avs, right?
Right.
The East was deep and the Metro was deep. So
no, it was going to be the Penguins. So I don't know. I feel like although the Caps probably may have beaten them, they may not have, and that just brings back so many horrible memories.
Well, okay, so you see the Penguins won their last game against the Flyers.
Yeah.
What do you think? Now that's a tougher one to call because like I feel like the Flyers should still take care of that series because I have to agree. I don't think the Penguins are that good, but
right. They're both
I was hoping it was over tonight. I was hoping to gloat with you guys about that, but the next one is key.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go back to Pittsburgh. Tie.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Philly doesn't win the next one, I think they're in real trouble.
That's do or die for me.
Yeah. We've seen a number of 0-3 blown series leads too, and like it definitely is not out of the question. I do want to join in the gloating over the Bruins losing games. Like I don't hate them like everyone else does, but still,
it's still enjoyable.
I love the scenario for Buffalo though. Like they're gonna get this game at home I think it's tomorrow, and that's so exciting to watch. Like it's like they woke up a sleeping giant over there with the Sabres fans. Like that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good hockey city. They need it too. They need some wins.
They deserve it after all those long-standing stuff.
They've been through a lot for sure.
Yeah.
Like.
All right. Well, I want to. My last couple thoughts are, Davy, congratulations again on the Pets of Twitch. I think that was an incredible run and really awesome stuff. I highly recommend people go check that out in future seasons or go check out the VODs if they want to see what that's all about. But it was a lot of fun with you and Ryan and G and Ferdane and, and all the friends. And Subby did a good job early on. It's... he will always be Subby to me. But anyway, even though he goes by a very different name now, but or Mango Boy possibly. But I really enjoyed the coverage and the Pets.
Thanks.
I thought it was really good, and definitely go check out Davey. Does some great interviews. He also does a lot of great stuff. Like if you like game shows, they plays video game versions of game shows that he plays with chat. That's been a big thing lately, and I've seen some of those clips have done really well on your YouTube channel.
A very big thing lately on socials. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you never know what's going to be popular. So it's cool, a cool pivot that you've been working on, and I like that. And Dave, any final thoughts before we let you go?
Well, first question for Tim, like how much longer are you going to be up in British Columbia? Like that sounds great.
Until June 18 around.
Oh, you're
there
there for a while. Okay.
Yeah,
like for work or something, or
okay. No, it's just my wife can't get another US visa, at least temporarily, so
gotcha.
Yeah. Thanks, Trump.
Yeah, so he's splitting time.
You're not. Listen, Nick. I think if I could trade places with you, I definitely would.
Yeah, it's nice, especially in spring and summer. It's a great city. I'm not upset about it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be either. So
I'm glad your work's okay with that. Like, that's cool. That's cool.
I'm fully remote. I just the company's in Texas, so I wake up early, but it's kind of nice because I finish earlier. So
yeah, totally.
It's got trade-offs.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, otherwise I'd be kind of screwed.
Oh yeah, that'd be tough.
Yeah,
but it's been good.
Keep your fingers crossed. Yeah,
it's fun because usually I get to see Tim in Maryland, and so this is not like the only way I get to see him. So like it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get to
Do you
see
get
10
northern lights like that
hours.
behind you? Like, do you get northern lights like in real life sometimes?
No,
Like,
no.
Oh, I'd have to go way out of the city.
Oh,
But
okay,
yeah,
okay.
just basic Zoom background.
Mhm.
Had to switch off the work one.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't dox yourself. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I appreciate you guys, both of your time. As
See you
I didn't
guys.
give my final thoughts, but it's okay.
Oh yeah,
It's my fault. I got
That was
off
our
track.
final thought.
that was my final thought. But it's already 12:30 here, and I do have to get up and take the kids to school early. So I will, as much as I could talk to you guys sports for another 2 hours, I won't. But I appreciate both of you guys and the whole hockey roundtable, getting Ryan back on, Adrian, getting Gil's thoughts, C4's
Robbie,
thoughts on the Bears.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did
Yeah.
did Ryan have thoughts on the offside call?
Yes, he did. Not surprisingly.
Yeah, he must have been irate over that. Yeah.
Yes, he was in the moment of the week previously. He was in our chat being irate about it, and then he got to be. And it turns out that the thing that we thought was the rule that they were reviewing that week turns out to be a different rule that he told us today. That was all about control versus a different player being offside. So, yeah, it shows that no one really knows what's going on in the officiating world of the NHL. So. But yeah, no, that was super fun. But definitely go check out Davy. It's a really fun time. Hopefully we'll get Tim back on one of these with his NBA playoffs as it continues to go out there. And I appreciate the time, and congratulations, Tim, on getting married.
Thank you.
Tim.
Yeah,
Kudos.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
Big changes.
Yes, exactly. And for people that don't know, Tim was one of my groomsmen. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's nice.
Yeah.
We'll just have to do some
Shout
sort
out
of
to San
celebration.
Antonio.
Yeah, shout out exactly San Antonio. It was a good place to get married, but we'll have to definitely celebrate when you get back here.
Sounds good.
So.
Great to see you guys.
Both.
Yeah,
I think I'm actually not going to raid tonight just because it's already 12:30 and I need to get to bed. But I really appreciate everyone for tuning in and being, lurking with us. I am going to hold here for the last 1 minute of regulation. It is Vegas 4, Utah 4, and then we can sort of bookend it at the end of regulation. I will give a little play-by-play here. So Utah is entering the zone. But Vegas tries to get it out, and they do. It's back to a battle in the neutral zone, but Utah gets control of it in their defensive zone as they try to break out here with 40 seconds left. They do gain the zone, sort of a chip and chase going on, try to pass it back to the point, a slap shot. But a big time save there with 29 seconds left. Vegas is outshooting Utah 27-22 in this game. Lisa's like, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm sure you are. Right now in the Denver game, they're up 87-69, a nice score in that game. We're gonna have a Pokemon in chat in 1 minute. And so we're going to do the last minute of this. We're going to catch that Pokemon, and then we're going to end our stream. But I do appreciate everyone for tuning in and being a part of it. Thank you to Champ, who, actually did the call-in gimmick, which is what we used to do with this show, is a call-in radio show. He did a call-in show for the first segment, along with Sith, and it's been a really fun show all night long. All right, let's see here what goes. The last 30 seconds here. The face-off is a misdraw, of course. We'll do it again. But definitely, Lisa's also a streamer as well. Go check out Lisa as well. So the Pokemon is a Crab Brawler, Pokecat Ultra Ball. And here we go. We got 20 seconds left. Utah's in their own defensive zone. They're trying to regroup. They get it through. They get the center line and in. There's 12 seconds left. They're behind the goal line. They're trying to get it out front. Vegas intercepts. They get out of their zone here with 2 seconds left, and it will go to overtime. All right, so people can go check that out after the show is over.
Maybe we could raid the ESPN.
90-70. There you go.
I don't think they actually have Twitch, but
Exactly. So, but thank you, Davey, so much for joining us. You're having your big stream anniversary next. Is it next week? Is it?
It's this weekend, like all
Yeah.
weekend, every
All
day
weekend.
this weekend. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Wow, that's awesome.
Not continuously. I'm not gonna do a solo,
One of those
but we're gonna
things.
do streams on each of the nights. Yeah.
So it's just during the night times. And what are the hours, just so people know if they want to come check it out?
Oh, honestly, like all night, but
All
I
night.
guess we'll say from 8 to 2 a.m. East each night.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Well,
Why not?
congratulations. It's
Thanks.
been fun to have been a part of your channel since pretty much almost the inception. I feel like I found you like a couple months into your streaming, and so it's been fun having this
Thanks.
relationship, talking sports across both channels, and being a guest on your channel many times. I actually this morning had a portobello caprese from that sandwich place that I've shouted out many times.
I'm gonna track you down when I'm in Maryland because I want to
Yes.
find that place.
It's
It
so
looks
good.
so
It's
good.
moved to 3 minutes from my house, so it's like
that's cool.
dangerously close now. So
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll definitely do that. But David, congratulations again, and
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, we will. With that, I'm going to end the stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I am going to do a Wednesday stream. I think 11:30 Eastern start time for that one. In the early morning, we'll be doing a scuba thing where I'm going to be editing my scuba documentary. The latest part has been doing really well. A short from that is one of my first viral shorts on the scuba channel. Thank you to the now 100 subscribers on that channel. We just hit that this morning, and just hit 50,000 views on that channel. So thank you, everyone, for I've really enjoyed making these scuba movies. If you are interested in an underwater museum, go definitely check that latest video out on the shorts out over there. We'll be doing we'll be taking a look at how I edited that video together, as well as starting the process of creating the timeline for the next video, which has a bunch of stingrays and a shark and a bunch of other really cool stuff. So we'll be going through all that footage on Wednesday. So thank you, everyone, for tuning into that, for tuning into this podcast. We'll definitely have another show next week where I'm sure we'll talk WWE, NBA, NHL playoffs, and also talk Defenders and Nats and United as well. So look forward to that, and we'll talk to you guys next